My Good Feet story.
See how they work for you with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlotte with your Sactown Sports Headlines. The NBA's Board of Governors approved 2 rule changes that will go into effect this season. Coaches will now get an extra challenge if their first challenge is correct. The other rule will be an attempt to curb flopping in games. There will now be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul called on offending players. The player's team and the opposing team will get a free throw. Possession will not change and can't be directly reviewed by a coach, but can be added to a call during a review of a different play. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the NFL and NFL Films have selected the New York Jets as this year's team for HBO's Hard Knocks. This is not the first time the Jets have been the Hard Knocks team. They first appeared on the show in 2010. Those are your headlines. Now let's get to Whitey and Watkins.
They gonna take it for a W.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car. It's a show specifically for you, Sacramento. Whitey.
She got a new song out of this anyway. Hoops, I did it again. So that's right. Hello, is this on?
No,
Watkins.
I'm sorry. I know I don't want to be the wet blanket on everybody.
It's Whitey and Watkins, and it starts.
Hurry up!
No.
Hey, Chris Watkins and I have been trying to tell you. And obviously, there's a really good chance you're a great Kings fan, so maybe you already knew. Maybe you didn't need our help. But Chris Watkins, am I right? Have we not been telling people for weeks? Hey, keep an eye on Jordan Ford. Folsom Lake Ford. He's got a chance to make this team.
He's got a chance. He's got a chance, and we've been saying it. We have been on this Jordan Ford hype train for a couple weeks now. And, he's proven us right. But he has played absolutely phenomenal. Yesterday I was talking a lot about how he had to kind of play well to try and justify all of this hype that we're giving him. A lot of talk about, can Jordan Ford come in and be the Kings' third point guard next year? Will they sign him not just to a two-way, but to an actual contract?
Wow,
I think is still up in the air.
Yeah.
But he definitely proved last night that he is somebody who you have to consider if you're Monty McNair. You have to give him a real look at being this team's third-string point guard with the performance he put together last night.
25 points in a summer league game that actually was pretty well played. Everybody shot the ball pretty well.
How about that?
25 points, but what really stood out to me, me, the old point guard, 8 assists and only 1 turnover.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
We were talking about it during the California Classic, especially just how calm he plays with just very calculated, very focused, never rushing his play, always playing at a good pace, but keeping the ball moving. I mean, to score 25 points and have 8 assists in a summer league game is incredibly impressive. A lot of the time it's kind of one or the other. You're either moving the ball or you're the one just gunning and trying to get your numbers. And for Jordan to really put together a beautifully played point guard game, I think it's just a great sign for what he can be in the future. And, Luke Laux at the beginning of this summer league training camp, if you want to call it, talked about how Jordan Ford can run a similar path to that of Gabe Vincent that we just saw earn a contract in LA. And I think, he's showing, I'm not going to jump to any Gabe Vincent conclusions, but he's showing that he's more than capable of earning at least a chance to get to that point.
And if I'm not mistaken, the one turnover he had, I think he was on the right side of the floor beyond the arc, and he had somebody in the opposite corner, and he just threw it like in the third row.
I
think that was it was a very avoidable.
Sorry.
And when he did that, I was like, oh my goodness, that was his only turnover of the night.
Yeah.
So,
he plays incredibly smart, and he's somebody
lightning quick,
and
can't guard anybody, but that's okay.
Not a lot of people can. It's really tough, and he's going to have his downfalls. But Sean Cunningham talked yesterday. His handles are really, really good, really tight handles. Should be able to run the show fairly well. And, he's a break. If he is this team's third point guard, it's a break in case of emergency kind of player anyway. And I think with someone like that, it's just you want them to be able to hold the ship steady. You're not looking for your third string point guard to come in and replace the production of De'Aaron Fox. You just want someone who can run the show, you can trust, and won't let everything get out of whack. Really.
Yeah, and the broadcast was much better for those who
30
actually
times
watched.
better.
Beth Mullins, I get it. Beth Mullins, you're a sportscaster. I understand that, but she does a really solid job. There's a jumper, and it's good. And then of course PJ, I love PJ.
My girlfriend was watching the game with me. Was not a PJ Carlissimo. She was
Really?
like, it sounds like there's something wrong with his audio. Like his mic is like break.
Yeah.
Just
He
PJ's
wasn't-
great. I love PJ
He
Carlissimo.
sounded
But
fine until Sprewell choked him. And then ever since
might have
then,
cracked his
it's like,
windpipe or something.
Something happened. But
That's an
coach is
iconic
going to
scene.
coach, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
You've been yelling at
Sure.
players for who knows, 40 years, 50 years, whatever.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
it was cool to get PJ's, insight on everything. He said he was demanding more of Kessler Edwards. I thought that was fun.
He wanted to be there, whereas
He
the
did,
night before,
yeah.
Isaiah Thomas
He was like,
when is this over?
do I really have to do this?
Yeah.
No one told me this was summer league.
Yeah.
I mean, it was night and day different, just the quality of broadcast and the game itself too. Like you mentioned, it was actually a quality basketball game. Both teams were making shots. There wasn't an abundance of careless, reckless turnovers. There was a lot of points scored. So, all in all, it was a perfectly fine viewing experience. Not something that we've gotten a lot of from the King Summer League so far.
A lot of love on the YouTube chat for Jordan Ford.
Awesome.
Benjamin says Jordan Ford should have that third two-way spot. Arturo says, that's right, Chris. Keep plugging Jordan Ford. SMC Gale graduate.
Yes.
I'm rooting for my fellow alumni or
Yes.
alumnus or whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, he's got a lot of local ties, going to have a lot of local love. I also thought about this yesterday. I mean, last year, the amount of times that Mike Brown would just casually drop references to Randy Bennett in their relationship, Randy Bennett being St. Mary's' head coach. I have to think, I mean, you can draw the direct line there. Last year, Matthew Dellavedova was picked over Quinn Cook, St. Mary's guy. This year, there could be a good chance. I'm not saying anyone's doing anybody favors, but I'm just saying it clearly Mike Brown has a type, and his relationship with Randy Bennett, I think, would warrant him to want to bring in guys who have been through a similar program like what Mike Brown has directly referenced he's trying to build here. He has directly said, I want to take what Randy Bennett has done over there and bring it over here, or at least use that as a guide. And, bringing in St. Mary's best players is a really good way of ensuring that you're bringing in guys that you can trust and you believe will run what you want to run.
Got to tell you, we are very excited today on Whitey and Watkins. You can probably hear the excitement. The ESPYs are tonight, but of course that's not why we're excited. That's great, whatever. But we have our own version of the ESPYs, the Beamies.
Yes.
Today, just about 10 after each hour, we're going to have a different category of the Beamies. And Chris, I don't know how. It's hard for me to find words about to express how excited I am about this.
Best
really
day of the
looking
year.
forward to
Yeah,
it.
it's the best day of the year. It's just the day that everybody
It
looks
is the
forward
best
to.
day of the year.
Roll out the purple carpet. It's a wonderful day. All the celebrities are out. The sun is shining, and I can't think of a better way of celebrating today than passing out some Beamie Awards. So, can't wait to get that
You know
underway.
what? Let's be honest. I think we have to be honest here. You have to be accountable. There have been years in the past where the Beamies, when you look back on the Kings season, would have been kind of, really?
It would have been a little depressing.
But not this year.
Not this year, no. There's almost not enough awards to give out. I almost wish that we could give an award to everybody, but then it would be a participation trophy, and we're not about that. So, I'm incredibly excited. We have, 4 categories here?
1 an hour.
One an hour.
You, the viewers
The
and
people.
listeners, will select the winners of the Beamies.
That's the key. That is the key. The winner will be selected by the people. Hop on over to Sactown Sport or youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Tune into our YouTube stream, and you can vote every hour on who will win this year's Beamie Awards.
Adam asks, can we call the winners of the Beamies Beamie Babies? And I already wish I hadn't read that, but I think it It does. In a way, it reflects how excited people are.
Yeah, for
Where they're
sure.
actually getting a little, in some cases, a little goofy about it.
Yes, right. I mean, it's great to have something to actually celebrate and not look back and say, oh, like, I guess we have to find a stretcher. Best win of the year is when the Kings barely beat a playoff team or something. There's tons of choices to pick from. We're honestly probably going to miss out on a couple really obvious selections. So definitely be there. And
I was between you and I, since you mentioned that, I was actually speaking yesterday afternoon to one of the people who was selecting the win of the year, and that person was telling me, he's like, it's tough to whittle it down to whatever it is. I think they ended up with four. How would I know? Yeah. But I think that's what they ended up with. And he said that's really difficult.
It is
to whittle it down to just four after this incredible year.
Incredible year. Like you could argue that the 3 playoff wins individually can be their own individual best win. I mean, the playoffs was such a fun time. There was, there's the double. I don't want to step on the nominees, but there's like the double overtime.
First category
there's
actually too coming right up.
Tons of game winners to pick from. De'Aaron Fox game winners. We've got Malik Monk highlights, Domantas Sabonis triple double. Like, we got Mike Brown audio as one of the categories. So I mean,
I heard you had a lot to do with that category, and I applaud you.
Thank you. It was one of my favorite things. Like, I mean, one of the best perks of being able to be in the media last year was truly to be in the presence of Mike Brown. It was every single day he had something that he was going to, whether it was him, and he set the tone from media day with the Mike Brown yell. And then 2 weeks later, we get Turn the Jets On. And then we get Malik. There's just so many different things to pick from. It was such a great year, such a fun year.
I think they're holding that. I think that might be the last category today.
It should
because
be.
it's so.
It should be.
The result is so anticipated. So we're excited about that. But of course, everything is not rainbows and puppy dogs and pizza pies. Bad news for Namias Queta yesterday.
Yeah. Nimi is going to miss the remainder of Summer League, and there's a chance that he's played his last game as a Sacramento King. Hasn't officially signed any deal yet to return to Sacramento. I think they were using this Summer League kind of as a final tryout, I guess, if you will, because they've had Namias Queta now for 2 seasons. This would be his 3rd. It kind of was getting to the point where, look, like, we can't just hold that roster spot and continue to develop you if there's not much return on investment there. And, he's looked really good at some points, and at other points he's looked like he hasn't really developed much at all. And, it'll be interesting to see where they fall on their decision, but I don't know if Namias necessarily did enough to have the level of confidence that we're speaking about with Jordan Ford and how he's clearly shown something. I personally have not had that kind of feeling for Namias Queta really his entire time of progression since his rookie year, really.
Yeah, fingers crossed that he's able to recover as quickly as possible.
Yes, absolutely.
Wherever his future takes him. We're coming right back with the first category in the 2023 Beamies. Next, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh my, what a take that time by Domantas Sabonis, and eludes Gobert. Drive strong, 2-hand flush off the dribble, thrown down by Trey Lyles.
And welcoming some new faces.
Yes. Toby Jones with 2 more.
Now they go to Duarte in the corner for 3, and he rains it down.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar, and while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Woo! Need a moment to collect myself. Those of you watching on YouTube have the benefit of seeing these. I'm just for the first time, Chris has brought in, so the first time I'm seeing the actual, the trophies for the Beamies. Wow! Well, I had no idea the trophies were.
Spare no expense.
No expense for the Beamies.
Now, is that there's only 2 of them there, and we have 4 categories.
This is a participation trophy.
Oh,
we
okay.
are actually giving out participation trophies just for showing up, but we do have a.
Do we need 2 more trophies then, or
the budget's
the Oscar doesn't have all of them.
Yeah.
For most of them, they just reuse it.
All right.
Yeah.
So, well, that's great. Also, for some of these, it's hard. Like our first category, like who actually gets the trophy? And I guess Vivek would get it.
It's whoever wants to show up and pick it up, honestly. it could be Lee, the head usher, who's always welcoming people. It could be Vivek. It could be, if Kevin Herter wants to stop by. I know, he's got ties with the station here.
Right.
Anyone who wants to get it can come pick it up. Feel free.
That's a great point. Anybody who had anything to do with the Kings this year has can lay a claim to these trophies.
Absolutely. That was the glorious thing of it all. It was everyone was bought into one. Mike Brown talked about it when he walked into the building. Vertical and horizontal alignment. Okay. That means this trophy is just as much Vivek and Mike Brown's as it is all the fans who walked in. So
yeah,
we don't want strangers coming to the station to pick it up. But if you work for the team, go ahead and pick up this.
So without further ado, we welcome you to the 2023 Beamies, the Sacramento Kings Awards. We're your hosts, Kevin Michael, Whitey Gleason, and Chris Watkins. And what an incredible year it's been, Chris.
Great year. I mean, after 16 years of wandering the desert, as G-Man said, the Kings have finally found the valley that is the playoffs, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know.
The promised land.
The promised land.
Well, the promised land of the playoffs.
Promised land of the playoffs.
Yeah. But then you've got
there's bigger fish to fry later, but
in which to congregate. So to speak. Our first category for the Beamies is the win of the year. Here are the nominees for the Beamie for the win of the year. Nominee number 1, Saturday, October 29th. That would have been 2022. Kings 119, Heat 113. First win of the season and the first lighting of the beam.
After an 0-4 start to the year, people were wondering, oh no, is this going to happen again? Is this going to be another wasted year? Sacramento Kings pick up a victory against the Miami Heat. Great win. Set off first of 48 beams. And can't lie, don't remember this one much, but it was the first beam lighting, and it feels like something that should be celebrated and remembered.
Hey, funny story. Chris Verlaud tells us that he's got some sound for all the other nominees. Didn't have any for that game, so he says, I guess no one thought the Kings were going to win that game. I don't know. That's kind of the behind the scenes chat.
That's very fitting. That's fine. It's
beginning was rough.
Yeah, the beginning was rough. Okay, like I said, 0-4. So no one ever thought they would win again.
Nominee number 2 for the Beamie for win of the year, Friday, February 24th. Who could ever forget it? The Kings over the Clippers in Los Angeles in double overtime, 176-175.
Kicks it out to Batum, launches for 3, misses it, rebound loose, Kings grab it, Malik Monk has it, it's Sacramento from 14 down late in regulation, has come back in double overtime to win one of the most memorable games in their 38-year history in Sacramento. 176-175 is the final score. You talk about making a statement. You talk about proving that you're worthy of title contention. What a victory this is for the Sacramento Kings.
February 24th, so that was shortly after the deadline. And you know that there were people that said, the Clippers, they got Russ now. It's all going to come together for them. And the Suns, they got Durant. And Kyrie went to Dallas. So Kings will be lucky to hang on to maybe the 5th spot,
yes,
right?
That was the thinking. And as G-Man mentioned so perfectly, that was the game that made a lot of people believers. That was the first time post-deadline, post-All-Star break, people were like, I think this might be for real, and I think the Kings might actually be able to play, not only just make the playoffs, but seriously compete in the playoffs. And, it was the first time really in a very long time that I think a lot of people felt that way about this team. And what a win. What an incredible win.
These are the Beamies. Our first category is the win of the year. Nominee number 3, unforgettable night, Wednesday, March 29th. Kings 120, Portland 80, and the Kings officially clinching a playoff spot and snapping that 16-year playoff drought.
The horn sounds, and for the first time in 17 years, 16 seasons of frustration, 16 years of wandering in the desert looking for that oasis, the Kings have finally found the sparkling waters, the palm trees. It's not a mirage, it's the real deal. Sacramento has clinched first-round home court advantage in the playoffs that will be starting in a couple of weeks. Tonight's final score is 120-80.
Wow. Hey, who is that kid? He's pretty good.
It's pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
He put that just so beautifully. We were trying to say something similar to it. G-Man, just the best that ever was, best that ever will be. Put it so perfectly. The Kings wandering a desert, finally find some water, and that is playoff salvation. Finally, the streak is broken. Took them a while to actually get that game to clinch it.
Yes.
But once it was gotten, it was very, very, very much a relief.
So those are 3 great nominees, but we still have one more nominee for the Beanie for win of the year. Saturday, April 15th, Kings take game 1 from the Warriors. First playoff game at the Golden One Center, 126-123.
Inbounds pass to Curry. He turns, he wheels, he fires, he misses. Barnes with a rebound. And Sacramento has won game number 1. After 17 years without a playoff experience, they have risen to the occasion. They were down by 10, not once, but twice in the third quarter, and they battled their way back. They took a 1-point lead into the fourth. They opened up a 6-point advantage at 122-116. They hung on as the Warriors fought their way back, and Sacramento gets the victory. The final score is 126-123.
As you pointed out, Chris, every one of the wins over the Warriors was a viable candidate. I think the Beamie committee decided that first one was the most significant. I know they looked long and hard at game 6, the game 6 win, but those are your 4 nominees for the Beamie for Kings win of the year. Nominee number 1 is the first win of the year and the lighting of the beam over the Heat in October. Number 2 was the Kings over the Clippers, 176-175 in double overtime in February. Then we had the playoff clincher against Portland in Portland, March 29th. And then the game 1 win over the Warriors, 126-123. It's up to you. We already have the nominees up here on our YouTube poll. Tough choice.
Really tough choice. I mean, that double overtime win against the Clippers it's tough to argue against it. Second highest scoring game in NBA history. The fact that the Kings won that game, incredible. I mentioned, the fact that it gave people belief. Just an incredible game. Probably the best game I'll ever watch in my life.
It's off to an early lead in the Beamies voting, by the way.
But I mean, the playoff game. I mean, there was not a better atmosphere that I have ever experienced in my life than that game 1. Just making the playoffs was an accomplishment. To actually win that game and have the celebration afterwards, if I'm not mistaken, it was a Saturday. Game started at 12 or 3 o'clock, so people were able to go out and hit K Street immediately after the game. It was
somewhere in there between 12 and 3 o'clock.
Yeah, somewhere in between there. It was a celebration, and truly just one day that I will never forget. So there's a lot of great choices on here. I don't blame anybody for picking one and not another.
Do you think the committee, let's be honest here, again, brutally honest.
Sure.
Did they kind of drop the ball by putting that first win of the year on there when you look at all the other wins?
No.
I thought there was something to be said for the first win and the first lighting of the beam.
The first lighting of the beam is really what's significant.
Because that ain't getting no vote.
It's not so much the fact that they beat the Miami Heat in at all. That doesn't really matter. We don't really remember anything about that game at all. But what we do remember is it was the first time probably, the beam is here to stay. And the first time that we ever lit the beam is something that should be remembered. But, I don't blame anybody if they go elsewhere for their win of the year.
Yeah, to cast your vote in the Beamies, in this year's Beamies, go to our YouTube chat. We have the double overtime win over the Clippers, the first win of the year over Miami, playoff clincher versus the Blazers, and the game 1 playoff win versus the Warriors. The voting is on. It's hot. It's heavy. Vote early, vote often.
Yes, vote early, vote often. There's a couple games, that couldn't make the cut. There's the TNT Terrence Davis game early in the year against the Brooklyn Nets. See Dwayne Baker pointing out the other TNT game against the New York Knicks, which was a gritty. Honestly, it was a sign of things to come as the Kings got absolutely murdered on the offensive glass, and then we're still managed to pull out that victory. There's a lot of good wins over this year, but it was tough to whittle it down, and you have to assume that some De'Aaron Fox game winners are coming along the way, but this is a tough category to pick through.
Yeah, so towards the end of this hour, that's when we'll be naming the winner of the Beamie, and then shortly after the beginning of the 11 o'clock hour, we'll have our next category.
Yes,
so
next category.
It looks like that double overtime win is the early leader. I think it was considered the favorite as well, but we'll see. Long ways to go.
Long ways to go.
Coming up next, did you hear the sell the team chance in Seattle? Wow. Next, Whitey Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Wednesday starts out comfortably. For the afternoon, expect plenty of sunshine with light winds. Highs today in the upper 90s. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axis,
what if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/get-early to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, the IMAX experience.
None of our lives can matter more than this mission.
I don't accept that. See Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Getting tickets is easy. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for showtimes and reserved seating. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club for special member pricing on tickets and concession items each time you visit the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NBA's Board of Governors approved 2 rule changes that will go into effect this season. Coaches will now get an extra challenge if their first challenge is correct. The other rule will be an attempt to curb flopping in games. There will now be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul called on the offending player's team. The opposing team will get a free throw. Possession will not change and can't be directly reviewed by a coach, but can be added to a call during a review of a different play. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the NFL and NFL Films have selected the New York Jets as this year's team for HBO's Hard Knocks. This is not the first time the Jets have been the Hard Knocks team. They first appeared on the show in 2010. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins and the Beamies.
Just to update you on the voting, the double overtime win over the Clippers is currently leading the Beamie vote for best Kings win of the year. We appreciate your participation. Of course, you got the ESPYs tonight. We got the Beamies.
We got the Beamies.
Only here, Whitey and Watkins. And I know you're not going to be watching the ESPYs, right? You're going to be watching.
I will not be.
Quarterback?
Yes, probably. Actually, I probably will opt in to watch Quarterback, the new Netflix show detailing the seasons of Kirk Cousins and Patrick Mahomes.
Who's the first one you said?
Some guy, Kirk Dunkirk Cousins.
Okay,
all
right.
That guy. Patrick Mahomes, Marcus Mariota, I believe he is the third quarterback that they will be detailing. And I saw a clip of from Patrick Mahomes where they tell him to go get an X-ray, and he's like, "I'll just do it at halftime. It's fine. It's fine." And they're like, "No, like just go get one right now." And he slams his jacket, yelling curse words left and right. And I'm excited. I'm excited for that level of access, and I'm excited to see exactly how much of a weirdo Kirk Cousins, the elite quarterback that is Jared Goff.
Really?
Come on. I never said that.
By the way, if you wish to cast a vote in the Beamies, go to Sactown Sports, our YouTube page, and that's where you can cast that vote. Although, man, that double overtime win over the Clippers is dominating. We'll have a winner at the end of the hour, and then we'll have 3 more categories throughout the morning. Did you watch the All-Star game last night?
I watched the first 3 innings, if that counts.
Sure. I mean, guess. Whatever you want to do. Fox kind of pulled a fast one on those of us who were hoping to hear whether Mariner fans chanted "sell the team" in the 5th inning, because they were supposed to be quiet until there was 1 out on the 5th. Then they were supposed to chant "sell the team." And during that time, it's almost like they knew it was coming. Fox had an interview with Shohei Ohtani in the dugout, and some are saying, I heard the morning show talked about this, Jay and Jason. Some think that they kind of did a little something with the audio so that watching at home you couldn't hear crowd reaction. But you can't find video on the internet. There was even one I saw of somebody outside the stadium. Wow. You could hear the fans. It wasn't like as loud as it was in Oakland, but fans were chanting, "Sell the team." Even when Rooker hit his double, "Sell the team."
That's awesome.
Isn't that? That's great.
That was really cool. I was hoping
that was the one you could hear was the Brett Rooker one. That was a good one.
I was wondering if they were going to, because by the way, I watched the start of the All-Star game. They bring these, when they introduce them, they bring them in from center field and have them awkwardly run all the way from center field to the dugout. And I thought they were going to do it when Brett Rooker was announced, and it seemed like there might have been some hinky fish, the audio kind of got a little quiet on the crowd. But I did hear I saw Twitter videos, tons of them, of the crowd doing the "sell the team" chants. It seemed like it got really, really loud in there, probably 40% participation, somewhere around. It was a good portion of the stadium that was doing it. I do wonder if MLB, we knew when it was supposed to happen. I would imagine that those in charge would also know when it was happening.
A's fans were handing out information to fans going into the game.
Yeah. So I would suspect that MLB it's probably not a coincidence that we didn't hear it on the broadcast.
We also found out yesterday that over the weekend, the mayor of Oakland, Shing Tao, met with Rob Manfred to lay everything out to him and say, "Hey, look, you say we didn't have a deal. This is what we had." And she laid out some, according to reports, very substantial papers and diagrams and everything, proposals about this is what we've been doing, and this is why we thought we were close to a deal. And she feels that the city of Oakland was actually used by A's ownership, that they were leveraged, and that they were trying to use the Oakland stuff to get a better deal in Vegas.
Yes.
That's not good faith negotiating.
Not at all. Not at all. And I'm glad that the mayor decided to finally make her voice known to Rob Manfred, who has repeatedly said as far as he knows, there's nothing going on in the Oakland front. And we all know that's not true. And, it was said that he had not talked with anyone from Oakland before. So for the mayor to reach out and extend that olive branch and finally meet personally with Rob Manfred, now he can no longer say these ridiculous things like there's no plan, there's no money in Oakland. So good on her for going out there and, fitting into what I imagine is a very, very tight schedule for the commissioner during All-Star weekend. It's good that the A's are at least being heard. I doubt this, really does much of anything, but it at least puts in the ear that, the A's aren't just sitting, or Oakland isn't just sitting back and letting all this happen.
He's Manfred, that is changing his tune a little bit. Now he's saying of her, oh yeah, well, she came to it so late that by the time she came to the situation, there's nothing she could do. So that's great and everything, but there was nothing she could do. Some are even suggesting that the way the commissioner's handling this is a little sexist, if not racist, towards Shang Tao. I don't know about that. I haven't read his comments in depth enough to come to that conclusion, but I did notice that. I do think it's clear that the city of Oakland / Oakland A's efforts, they are winning the PR war.
Yes.
I mean, you have people in Seattle chanting, sell the team. You have the commissioner having, he doesn't want to meet with the mayor of Oakland about their plans to keep the team.
I thought
but
this
they're
was
having
done.
Yes. And so, he says, okay, I will report this to the committee, the relocation committee. Baseball is having to acknowledge this. And the message is ultimately, look, you have to face this and acknowledge this happened.
Yeah.
So if you allow all this, you're saying that the way John Fisher went about this is okay. And are you sure you want to send that message to your fans?
Yeah.
Now, I'm with you. They probably will, but it's at least something they got to think about.
Yeah. It's almost like, Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball have been trying to position this as if they're moving the A's to Las Vegas instead of the reality of they are taking the A's from Oakland and putting them in Las Vegas. And I think the more that narrative can get pushed, that this is not a matter of a city not wanting a team. And this was like, go ahead. We can't figure it out. So if you can figure it out, good on you. We're trying to make this work. We're, like you said up top, this is not a good faith negotiation here. We're trying to make this work with our 100%. You're just kind of doing it just to say you did it, just so that you can decline it and move on to the next. And
this was a long process. When you include the A's tearing down what was actually a pretty good team so that people wouldn't come to the games.
Right.
Not that, and I know, in all fairness, it's not like they were setting attendance records when they have those good teams.
Sure.
But still, this was a long effort to devalue the product so that people wouldn't want to come. And then they go,
nobody's showing up.
No choice.
Yeah.
And that's just not true.
It's not true at all. It's this has been a very calculated move from the jump. And, Oakland probably should have done a better job of making this known as it was happening. But kind of like you mentioned, there wasn't really no one's really talking about the A's until this relocation stuff really started to kick up. This has been work in progress for years now. And it's just, I think it's really tough at this point in where they are in the process to kind of flip things on its head. I think the only way that they can get some help is, like we were talking about maybe a month or so ago, if for whatever reason, some of these bigger market clubs start to speak up. That's kind of the only hope that Oakland has at this point, because I think they're just too far along in the process.
There has been some talk, and I don't know how deep it goes into MLB headquarters, but there's been talk of Oakland maybe being an expansion city down the road. If that's a realistic possibility, then clearly to me, it's like, just leave the team in Oakland and then expand in Las Vegas down the road.
Makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Makes the most sense to me. And if that's what Oakland's going to bank on as well, there's just, I have a tough time seeing Oakland being the choice. Frankly, Oakland is a phenomenal place to play baseball, but there's going to be the natural argument of, they already had their chance. Why not give it to Portland or Nashville or wherever it is that they're trying to relocate? I just think it's going to be a really tough sell for Oakland to try and get that relocation bid.
Historically, cities that are in that situation, the way they get a team is they threaten legal action.
Sure.
That's how Seattle got a team.
Yeah.
Because they had a team, they lost it. They threatened lawsuits. Same with Tampa Bay, and baseball has to say, all right, if you won't threaten sue us, we'll put a team in there.
Well, that's funny, because the Oakland probably would have a more than decent case.
Yeah.
They could definitely, like you said, they've been acting in bad faith pretty much this entire time. You could definitely, I'm no lawyer, but I could tell you that they could probably put together a pretty decent case against MLB and what they've done to make this an unwatchable, unwantable product.
One more thing about the game last night. I was regretting watching the game. I was regretting that yesterday I was saying, I don't know if we need all-star games anymore, because it was really fun, as we discussed with Rami. they play baseball and other all-star games. You don't actually see them participating in the sport.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that's been said is the players today don't care about the all-star game the way the players of the past used to.
Sure.
And watching last night, I realized that's not a bad thing, because the ninth inning you had, as the American League was rallying and Kimbrel lost his location a little bit, you had players on both teams right on the edge of the dugouts.
Right.
And they were really into it.
Right.
They were laughing, like having fun, and you would have never seen like Pete Rose, those guys do that.
Right.
But they were into it. They
Right.
wanted to win. It was fun to watch. That's what I'll always remember about last night's All-Star game, is the players just hanging and kind of smiling nervously like fans.
Yeah.
But they really clearly, everybody wanted to win that game.
Yeah.
As a fan, great. If it's a game and everyone wants to win, I'm there for that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the perfect balance that you're trying to find, is something that's competitive, that people won't give minimal effort in, but at the end of the day, if it's close, you care enough. I mean, they understand there's no stakes involved, and so that's why they're not sweaty, they're not yelling, they're not intense, but they still care enough to, they still want to win the game. And especially with, just for pride's sake, it's still meant to be fun. Like this is still meant to be a kid's game that they're playing. And it is, like you're saying, it is good to still see them having fun instead of taking an all-star game incredibly
The interviews
seriously.
with players during the game, I know you can't do that during the regular season.
Sometimes it's good, but sometimes
I
it's just
like
like
it.
really
And I
weird.
thought I would hate it, but I like it.
The only one that I was like, they're all like, they're fine. I just don't think you get a lot from it. I think it is cool that we can do it, but I mentioned to you that they mic'd up Nate Eovaldi in the third inning, who was pitching at the time. Just didn't really work well for TV, because you do the broadcasters are in his ear. They're not trying to, talk while he's trying to locate and focus. And
some guys are better. I would say, no, I can't pitch while I'm talking.
That's what I would say. I would say
really
like,
do it.
and he was like talking right in his stretch and and I was like, how is he not losing focus or any? I mean, I think he struck someone out. It was incredible to watch, but I was like, I don't think this works. I don't think that you should mic up a pitcher as he's pitching.
You're so old school.
And
you don't even like baseball.
Who was the player a few years back that was like cussing the entire
that
time?
was incredible. I don't
And the
remember.
catcher had to come up like, hey, you're mic'd up.
Let me see. I'll try and find that.
I don't recall that.
Yes, it was incredible. Let's see here.
We'll get that for you, Chris.
It was Liam Hendricks.
Oh, makes sense.
It was Liam Hendricks.
Yeah. Of course
Yes,
it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was like throwing balls and F. And it's incredible.
Coming up, we'll update you on the voting on the Beamie for Best Kings Win of the Year. You want to get your vote in on that, Sactown Sports, our YouTube page. Also coming up, is that a fair price for watching 49er practice? Next, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you covered.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that he's throwing really good passes. I mean, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. He just looks like he's having fun, because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Get all your 49ers coverage leading into the 2023 season at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lise Ann thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Okay, outdoor summer cocktail party fit check. I've got a hot pink and orange bodycon dress paired with vintage sneakers. It'll definitely attract attention, but not from mosquitoes, because I'm wearing it with Off Clean Feel for 8 gorgeous hours of not sticky, fragrance-free protection. So I can sip, socialize, and flirt out there in the wild with absolutely unshakable confidence. Get your pre-party protection on with Off Clean Feel. SC Johnson, a family company.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
PGA.com reported that no matter how long you've played golf, you've found things that annoy you on the course. Here's their top 9 pet peeves. Number 9, do you think I can hit yet guy? He hit his tee shot 200, but he's waiting for the green to clear from 250. 8 is where's the beverage card guy who always need more aiming fuel? 7 is the since I'm not playing well, I'm going to complain about everything. 6, leave the green messy guy who refuses to fix a ball mark, spits sunflower seeds, and taps cigar ashes on the green. 5 is the member who acts like he owns the course guy. He's no favorite of the superintendents. Then there's the 1 second, let me count my strokes guy. If you've hit that many shots, just pick it up. 3 is the oblivious to open holes in front and people on our tail guy. 2 is the cell phone talker guy. Hey, we're playing golf here. And number 1 is the good Lord, they're pairing a woman with us guy. While these guys are looking in the woods for a ball, the lady is kindly waiting in the middle of the fairway. What are your pet peeves? That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Yeah, something to definitely keep an eye on here. Frankie has a story at SactownSports.com. Some eyebrows raised this morning when the Lithuanian national basketball team released its roster for next month's FIBA Cup. A lot of NBA players going to be participating. One notable player was missing from the list of names, Domantas Sabonis. And as Frankie reports at SactownSports.com, Sabonis underwent surgery to repair his right thumb. You know, he played through most of last year with that avulsion fracture, which is an avulsion is when like something tears a piece of the bone away.
Love that.
Yeah.
Great imagery.
So the coach of the Lithuanian team says the main reasons behind Domantas' availability this summer was his contract and health. He tried to recover without the surgery, but it didn't work, and he lost time after the surgery. Everything takes longer. He apologized for not coming and promised to be available next summer. So Domantas Sabonis, as Frankie reports at SactownSports.com, he was hoping his thumb would heal on its own. Didn't work, and now he's going to have the surgery.
Yeah, I don't know if I should be nervous about this or not. I don't think so. I mean, the fact that he was able to play with it for the entirety of last season, or play through it, I should say, for the entirety of last season, probably tells me he'll be fine. I know they said there's no timetable at the moment for his return. I would assume he'll be back, no problems, no issues, no nothing. But this is definitely, it was a calculated risk that they took this year. I think, it was, it definitely was something that could have been really, really bad, and something that again, I'm no doctor, but they could have, it could have gotten worse.
Have you ever been to the hospital?
I have, not in a long time.
Then fair enough.
Okay, cool. Then I can speak on this.
Yes.
Cool.
My wife
it was
works at a hospital,
sketchy.
so
Yeah.
I certainly can.
Oh yeah, then you're good. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why am I even talking? You can take this. You can just break down what was the surgery. What exactly did they have to
attach
do?
it again and fix it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Seems like good doctor work there.
Seriously, that he's getting the very, 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 very finest.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're going to make sure that goes as smoothly as possible. And it'll be good to see him with the right hand again. I mean, I think, it was easy to forget that he was playing with only one hand for quite literally more than half of last season. And it really showed in the playoffs when he couldn't do anything but go left. And I think, just having that counter of being able to go right will be really big for his game. Like, I think people kind of don't fully understand how hard it is to play essentially with a hand tied behind your back. And,
I did that because my left
incredible.
hand was so pathetic, but that's
same. Well, same. Yeah. Maybe people do understand what it is like to play with one hand, because majority of people can't play with their left. But I think it's going to be really big for him. I'm glad that he's getting it taken care of early in the summer. Hopefully he won't miss any time. He might miss some time to train in the off season, but it's probably good for him to get some rest, as well as the Kings are going to lean on him probably pretty hard this season as well as last season.
There's always minor concern that it won't heal correctly right away, but yeah, that's what I wonder about, is when that thing heals, is he going to be even better than he was last year, because he won't be dealing with that?
I would think so. Like, at least,
it's just hard to imagine him being much better.
Right. It is.
Right,
I mean, yeah. And it's not like he beforehand, he was using two hands all of the time. I mean, he rarely did use his right hand, but it is more just, especially, like come playoff time, the Warriors were not guarding him at all to the right, and he could not go to his right. And so just even having that as something you're able to go to, I think is going to be helpful to his game, more just to keep people off balance, keep them from knowing which direction he's going, just to kind of keep people guessing. I think it's it's not going to be massive. He's not going to be a 25 point per game scorer next year, but I think it'll just help open up a lot of things that weren't there last year that we might have not even noticed.
And then Keegan had a version of the same thing, and no one never talks about it.
No, not really at all. I mean, yeah, he went through pretty much the same thing. I think it was a little less severe, but what is a less severe tearing of your hand? Like, it's all the same pretty much. And the fact that Keegan's going to be another year developed. Keegan definitely wasn't using both hands at much of last year at all. So that'll be a big part of his development as well, is how much can he use his left hand, whether it be putting it on the deck or maybe even finishing with the left hand. It'll be good for the Kings to come into next season healthy as well. Like, they were lucky to not have a lot of injuries last year. I think it's going to be tough to have that same luck this year, but it's about doing what you can to put yourself in the best position possible in terms of health.
Also at sackdownsports.com, I think this is Emil has the update on the Kings lost last night, but big nights for Ford and Dom.
Yes, massive night for Mike Dom. They think they gave him the nickname the Dominator during the game. He was incredible. I mean, I was
DJ Carlissimo loved him.
He did love him. It was
you never know when the opportunity's going to come or where it's going to come. You got to be ready.
I guess he's been a journeyman, someone who's played quite literally around the world. In Germany, won championships around the world, and is now trying to get his NBA contract. That dude can shoot. That was my big takeaway from him yesterday. Is, I mean, he would pump fake, have people fly by him, take that one power dribble, and then just pull up. I was really impressed with him. I don't know if he's an NBA guy, but he's definitely capable of being a knockdown shooter, I think, anywhere he goes.
A couple of things I got to update you on as far as the poll goes. The Beamies, Sactownsports.com, where you can cast your vote. Best Kings win of the year. Is it time to announce a winner?
We'll give it one more segment.
One more segment.
Yeah.
All right. The double overtime win over the Clippers, leading over to game 1 win versus the Warriors. The first win of the year and playoff clincher versus Blazers also on the board. And I mentioned the 49ers before we went to break. 49ers going to welcome their rookies to training camp next week, veterans the following week. Fans will be allowed to watch their team for the first time on Wednesday, July 26th. Season ticket holders get first dibs on the $10 tickets. Does that seem like a good deal? All proceeds going to the 49ers Foundation. Children under 2 years old will not require a ticket. $10 to go see the 49ers practice with everything going to the 49er Foundation.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Wasn't Daniel Snyder, I think, the first guy that charged people to go to practice? And I don't think he gave it to the Washington Foundation. Yeah.
There's no way. I think that's cool. I mean, like, I know traditionally these things have been free, but, $10 is not it's not breaking my back. I doubt it's breaking anybody else's back. It's a really cool experience. I've only been able to go to one of the training camps. I went to the Raiders one a couple of years ago. It's just a really cool time. It's, the NFL never ceases to amaze me just how much money is involved in the sport, and like going to training camp. I was like, wow, like this field is pristine. All the sleds are brand new. They have workout equipment out there. If you care about the Niners, especially if you love football or if you're just interested in the NFL, I think it's a great opportunity and a really cool thing to go to. It's one of a kind.
Oh, you youngsters don't understand. The 49ers used to train up in Rockland. One time, Romanowski and Jerry Rice got in a big fight. I miss those days. That was cool. The 49ers used to drive up the road. Like, there's Steve Young and Joe Montana.
It was not cool. It was very hot.
A little,
I assume so.
A little warmish, typically.
Didn't they play in Stockton as well? Didn't they do a training camp in Stockton? Am I wrong? No.
I want to say the Raiders did that, maybe.
Okay.
Coming up next, we'll have our first Beamie winner and another category. And who's not a fan of the new anti-flop rules? De'Aaron Fox is not a fan. Tell you why he's not next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Cal Ripken in 2001 won the MVP there. Yeah, and then he hit the home run. I think it was off a Dodger Chan Ho Park, if I remember right.
There's no way Chan Ho Park was in an All-Star game. If he was, that's
okay. Kyle, if my I feel like it's I could be wrong.
Chan Ho Park was a 2001 All-Star for the Dodgers.
Bro. Oh, Chan Ho Park sucked.
Well, Cal Ripken hit it out of Chan Ho Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento, get ready for the launch of Flex Power Tools at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Come on down this Saturday, July 15th for a one-day Flex Tool launch party. Witness live demos, score unbeatable deals on all Flex products, and get a free 3.5 amp hour 24-volt battery with every kit purchase. Grab a rear handle saw kit with a free 10 amp hour battery for just $299. Power up with Flex at Fasteners Tool Outlet. Don't miss it this Saturday, July 15th at 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
At Wells Fargo, if you accidentally overdraw your account, we give you an extra day grace period to avoid the overdraft fee. What if everything came with an extra day?
Sunday night and I have the Sunday scaries.
Honey, don't be scared. Every weekend comes with an extra day now.
All right. TGI Sunday.
It helps to have an extra day. When it comes to overdrafts, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/getextra to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to timing requirements and the bank's funds availability policy. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Players of all abilities will tell you that Bartley Cavanaugh Golf Course is the area's #1 course for fun. Whether you're a beginner or an accomplished player, Bartley Cavanaugh has something for you. It's a great walking course, but motorized carts are available too. The moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas will add to your satisfaction and smiles for the day. Near the banks of the picturesque Sacramento River, Bartley Cavanaugh features the brand new tap room for all your beverage needs. For tee times, visit bartleycavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
Are you ready for an incredible pre-owned blowout at Elk Grove Kia? Elk Grove Kia has got you covered with over 300 used cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks available. Every single one of our vehicles has gone through an extensive 150-point inspection, so you can buy with complete confidence. We stand by our cars and offer a bring-it-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, simply return it. Worried about your credit? Don't be. At Elk Grove Kia, we have 100 years of combined experience in helping our customers get the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing options. Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smileway. Elk Grove Kia.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, when the A's took the shortstop Jacob Wilson from Grand Canyon in the first round of this year's draft, it meant the A's had drafted a shortstop from Thousand Oaks High in 2 of the last 3 first rounds, going back to 21 when the A's took Max Muncy. And now Wilson, coached by his dad, the former big leaguer Jack Wilson, in high school, taken by the A's 6th overall. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Franklin Rosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. I'm Chris Verlott with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NBA's Board of Governors approved 2 rule changes that will go into effect this season. Coaches will now get an extra challenge if their first challenge is correct. The other rule will be an attempt to curb flopping in games. There will now be a unsportsmanlike technical foul called on offending player's team. The opposing team will get a free throw. Possession will not change and can't be directly reviewed by a coach, but can be added to a call during a review of a different play. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the NFL and NFL Films have selected the New York Jets as this year's team for HBO Hard Knocks. This is not the first time the Jets have been named to the Hard Knocks team. They first appeared on the show in 2010. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
No surprise, the NBA embracing these 2 new rules. I know we talked weeks ago about how the NBA was looking at them and going to try them out in Summer League. And one of them just makes some sense. You get another challenge if your first challenge is right. If you're a coach, then, what if they're both right? But anyway, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. De'Aaron Fox, though, is among those who doesn't like the anti-flopping rules, Chris Watkins.
Yeah, De'Aaron was not a fan of it. Almost immediately after Shams put out the tweet of the new rules, De'Aaron quote retweeted and said, "LOL, yeah, refs needed more power." So, De'Aaron clearly, De'Aaron's been very vocal in the past about his feelings about officials. Isn't quite to like Zion, Draymond level of complaining to officials, but definitely lets his opinions and sometimes lets his emotions get the best of him, and lets referees know that he does not appreciate what they're doing.
He also tweeted, "Don't call the foul already. Don't know if it's a foul or not, but let's give them the power to also give out a tech if they think it's a flop." And he has a video of somebody getting hit in the face. Bro literally gets hit in the face, then gets a tech because the refs missed the call. And he also said, somebody said, "Hey, come on, something had to be done." De'Aaron Fox on Twitter, "For sure, but refs shouldn't get to make that judgment. Techs cost guys money and suspensions. LOL." And I think we're coming off a year where we saw some of the most bizarre officiating we've ever seen. Not just bad at times. And I know everyone complains about officiating, but if you're really paying attention this year, and I think the players would probably tell you, there were times this year where it's like they didn't know what was going on, the officials.
It was really bad. Even from the start of the year. I mean, there was 2 incidents to start off the Kings season that had to go to the 2-minute report for Kings fans to find out that it was called incorrectly. There was a Klay Thompson push off where he pushed off of Kevin Huerter to hit a 3 to give the Warriors a lead, I think in their second game that they played against them. And then there was a Tyler Hero travel that wasn't called and then wasn't reviewed. And then there was, not on the Kings side, but the Warriors had that weird game in Dallas where Mark Cuban put that game under protest because the referees didn't let them know that the Warriors were inbounding or they were on the wrong side of the floor.
That was a strange one.
Very, very strange.
And there was Huerter getting fouled when he shot a 3 at the end of the game. And Klay, clearly,
that's what it was. I'm sorry. That's what it was.
Clearly it was a foul.
Yes.
You could see it without benefit of replay.
Yeah.
And he's looking around like, and is it up? Yeah.
No call. Nothing to see there.
Yeah.
It was a very, very weird season. And, it didn't really get better through the playoffs either. It's this year. I mean, ever since I've started, when I started Chris and Co, I feel like I've had 2 or 3 different conversations of,
man, I missed that show. And I know I'm not alone.
No, I know it's the people are clamoring for it. It's one of those things where I feel like we've had multiple conversations of, does the NBA have a referee problem? And I don't think that conversation has been as prevalent since, those early mid 2000s years when we went through the Donaghy fiasco and are they fixing games? Aren't they fixing games? And it feels like the conversation has kind of been reignited after last year.
I remember when we first talked about this rule, I had read somewhere and we were talking about it on the air and I was reading it on the air. One of the original stories I read said that there would be a change of possession, but Christopher Law just pointed out, and if you've watched, you realize, no, they don't actually change possession on it. The problem is I'm not clear. So if I commit a foul and the other guy flops, does that mean it's not a foul on me?
Like the foul is rescinded?
Yeah.
I would think so.
I appreciate what De'Aaron Fox is saying there. Don't call. If a guy flops, then don't call the foul. Why, and isn't that going to go away? Don't they already have rules on the book? Yes, they do, to fine players who flop. I don't know what more this is going to add to it. I think it's going to complicate things, and I think we're going to end up with some confusing situations. And if you've been watching Summer League, you know that we already have.
Yeah, technical fouls are when you're talking about adding points to somebody as well for any sort of infraction
on a judgment call, I think he flopped.
It's pretty tough.
Yeah,
that's pretty tough. And I think that's kind of the point where De'Aaron's getting at is, do the referees need to have even more impact into the results of these games than what they already do? I think he's kind of trying to point at what a slippery slope it could be for, this is how, if you want to put your tinfoil hat on, this is how referees fix games. It's not by calling tons of fouls. It's by calling very specific ones. And, if you want to believe that the NBA is rigged and all that stuff, yep, there you go. Thank you, Chris. Go ahead and believe it, because it might be true.
It's not just basketball. You watch the All-Star game?
I do.
Uriel hits a drive down the left field line last night.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's like a foul ball.
Right.
Oh, home run. And they got to review it. That's the second such ball. That happened in a Giants game a couple weeks ago. Somebody hit one down the left field line, and you could just watch it go, oh, that's foul. And the umpire's a home run. Then they got to review it.
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah. It's
how could you call that a fair ball?
It's really strange. It's almost like they're relying on the replay. Like they didn't go to, but I don't know. Referees are how they operate, I think, is very strange. I don't know if having a press conference after the games is a great solution, but there is an element of they can kind of call what they want to. And if they want, they have the benefit of replay that they can go back to, or, there was a problem in the NFL a couple of years ago with the pass interference where they'll make calls and then you'll go and look at it as the new rule is intended for you to do, and they still won't reverse it because they don't want to be wrong. So it's a weird, making these judgment calls into something that can be greatly affecting the actual results of the game. I think it's just a dangerous, slippery slope.
Yeah. Here's my theory. I think one of the reasons we're seeing more and more bizarre officiating and umpiring is because umpires, officials know everything is on TV now and they show it over and over and over. Plus they can review it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the officials are choking because of that. It's like, rather than just, hey, bang, bang, make the call. It's like in their minds, I better get this right. If I don't get it right, and then what if they review it? Oh man, I'm going to look bad. And I think it's affecting the way they actually officiate games.
Yeah. I wonder, because I mean, if I were a referee, I would have to get to a point where it's like, you got to call whatever it is that you initially think and just live with it. Because if you're going to do that dance of, I don't know, that's when you get in trouble, and that's when you just end up making a completely wrong call, and that's when you really screw things up. So I don't want to be the guy who's defending the referees as well, but it is.
Why not? They're kind of like people.
Kind of, I guess, sort of. They're human-esque. They have elements. Job. It's a really hard job. And, the pace at which all of these games are played, like even baseball, football, obviously the NBA as well. It's just really hard to make these incredibly fast judgment calls on things. And if we're going to rely on them to try and also dictate intention while watching so many other things, I don't think that the on the floor referees can make that kind of decision or judgment call in real time.
As a basketball fan, what do you think the chances are that this rule actually improves the product and gives you, the basketball consuming fan, a better version of basketball next year?
That's a good question. I would say probably not. It's probably not going to have much of any impact. I think that they're thinking this is going to have a similar impact.
Well, I just gave it the thumbs down. I could see it having a negative effect and making it more confusing.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, no, I think that I don't think this is a good step for the NBA at all.
Overreaction.
I think that they're thinking this is going to have a similar impact as the clear path, or not the clear path, the rule they implemented last year, the transition take foul, where that did essentially eliminate people grabbing, players to eliminate. So I think their thought process is, okay, let's try and do that for flopping. Let's try and put in a real rule that try and de-incentivize flopping so that it might not get called that often because people stop doing it because there is such a harsh defense now. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that the referees are honestly going to mess it up too much.
Problem is, what's a take foul? Well, it has to be in this situation on the court.
Sure.
And a player has to do this. What's a flop? Well, it's just if I think he flopped.
Yeah. Kind of, that's the problem. I mean, that is really the problem of it. At the end of the day, it's a human decision. It's a human judgment call. And what one person might think is a charge, the other one might think is a block. What one person might think is a flop. Somebody might say, no, there's real contact there. And I could see how one could do that. It could result in them falling like that. It's just a almost impossible thing to try and officiate.
All right, Chris Watkins, get your tuxedo back on.
Oh yeah, let's do it
here because we're going back to the Beamies. We'll have a winner in our first category, win of the year, and a brand new category as well. We're back to the Beamies next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Now, Sactown Sports is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Cal had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us. And just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and, like, how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. And I never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments. If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's.
Reese's. I'm onto something. Reese's.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
Welcome back to the Beamies. ESPN has the ESPYs tonight. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares, but everybody cares. At least all right-thinking Sacramento Kings fans care about the Beamies, the Kings Awards for the 2022. Put that trophy down. 23 season.
Just hit myself.
You came in with, I got the trophies. There's a trophy? Yeah. And you go out and you bring back two.
Yes.
There's only two.
Yes.
And what is that one? It's a little like, is that a businessman?
It's technically a Dundee Award. I think this is Frankie's.
Oh.
I got this from Frankie's desk, to be honest with you. So
okay.
We have a Dundee and we have a trophy.
It is a trophy and it is shiny. They're both.
This is a trophy. This is a legitimate trophy. I don't know what this was initially used for, but it's mine now.
Well, it's time to give out an award to announce the first winner of the Beamies. Here is Chris Watkins.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first ever Beamies and the first ever award to be given out on the Beamies.
I'm nervous. Either I'm nervous or I have to go to the bathroom. I'm not sure which.
Category: Best Kings Win of the Year. The nominees: first Beam win over Miami, the double overtime win over the Clippers, the playoff clinch versus the Blazers, Game 1 versus the Golden State Warriors. The winner.
The Beamie goes to.
The Beamie goes to. The double overtime win over the Los Angeles Clippers. Unfortunately, Malik Monk could not come pick up his award.
He said he could. He just didn't want.
He just didn't want to.
Yeah, he said I can.
It's fine. He actually said, "Who is this? How did you get this number?" It was me, Malik. Don't worry about how I got the number. So I will be accepting this on their behalf. Thank you all to the Academy, to all those who voted.
Was the voting even close?
It was not close. The double overtime win, 59% of the vote. Game 1 gets 28% of the vote, and then 7% is split with the playoff clinch versus the Blazers in the first Beam, which was a win over Miami. Both of those got 7%. So, very clearly, the winner of this award is the double overtime win over the Clippers. I mean, it was a fantastic game. Like I said, maybe the greatest game I think I'll ever watch in my life in terms of a regular season basketball game. Scoring galore. Again, it's been talked about plenty when it comes to this game, but the defense wasn't bad. In a game 176 to 175, there was real defense played. Just like elite level shot making by both teams. Incredible game, incredible rewatch. Very deserving of this award.
We're going to move on to the next Beamie category in just a moment. But first, if you could, Chris Ferlard, could you play for us one more time the G-Man's great call at the conclusion of that double overtime 176-175 win over the Clippers? Yeah. Okay. It's going to take a second.
Okay. It's going to take a second.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a great game. It was a fantastic game. And there's so much that I remember. I mean, like Malik Monk just going absolutely nuclear in that overtime period. Them getting to the overtime, it was 150 to 153. Kings need a 3. Everybody knows it. De'Aaron drives the lane, gets Malik on the wing. He relocates from the corner to the wing. De'Aaron finds him perfectly. Malik knocks down the shot. It was just such an incredible game. So many fun moments. I think G-Man even mentions in the call the Kings were down by 10 twice in that game, and that's what made it so incredible.
Kicks it out to Batum, launches for 3, misses it, rebound loose, Kings grab it, Malik Monk has it, and Sacramento from 14 down late in regulation has come back in double overtime to win one of the most memorable games in their 38-year history in Sacramento. 176-175 is the final score. You talk about making a statement. You talk about proving that you're worthy of title contention. What a victory this is for the Sacramento Kings.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yes,
Just
it
so
truly
good.
was. We throw that word around all the time. That's incredible. That's unbelievable. That was just what?
That game
What
was
happened?
incredible, and it was unbelievable. And the only thing it was missing was it to be at home in Golden One Center. It would have been absolutely insane, but beggars can't be choosers.
It's time to introduce the nominees for another category at the Beamies. We have now the Beamie nominees for Nickname of the Year. Again, cast your votes on our YouTube channel, Sactown Sports YouTube channel, and we'll be announcing the winner once we've tallied up all the votes. Here are your nominees for Nickname of the Year. Red Velvet.
Swipe of the Fox.
The Dominator.
Off Night.
Once again, Red Velvet.
Swipe of the Fox.
The Dominator.
Off Night.
Wow.
A lot of good ones there.
Yes.
A lot of good ones. Domas has a couple.
Let's be honest. This may be one of the lesser of the categories.
Sure.
It's not-
Not all of them
The
can be
technical
best
award.
picture.
Yes.
Yeah, this is like the sound. Well, I guess we quite literally
We were
going to
have this
sound
last night
Yes.
and then just give you the highlights of this category.
Yeah, but sometimes we got to fill the broadcast. It's
The Swipe of the Fox actually comes from the Door of the Explorer, right?
absolutely does. Yeah, the infamous swiper the Fox, swiper no swiping, and it's been De'Aaron's Twitter handle I think since he was even in college. So he's had that nickname for a while, and it's very fitting. He is a great at stealing the ball, but is also just incredibly fast and has so many highlights from stealing and going from coast to coast. It's a very fitting nickname. Off Night obviously is Davion Mitchell coming from
I love that
college.
nickname, but it cuts both ways sometimes when you're not having a good shooting night.
It does.
Doesn't
It
it?
definitely does. It's it's a little bit of it. That's why it's so perfect for Davion, because sometimes it is an off night for his offensive game as well. And then Red Velvet is just it's a class.
It's the favorite.
It's really, really good. And Domas almost has so many. Like there's Lithuanian lasagna. There's the Dominator, which that was a favorite on NBC Sports. He's got to have some more, but yeah, that's some strong ones, some really strong nicknames. Up on that list.
Vote early, vote often, as I like to say. So what do you have for us? What is your impressions or your reactions to the news that Domas is going to need surgery on that thumb?
I mean, can I just say it is a little bit alarming to me that he thought, and again, I hate it when people preface this because it is very obvious, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm not a doctor here, but it does make me very nervous, or I just don't quite know how I should feel about this is a direct quote from the Lithuanian head coach. He tried to recover without surgery, but it didn't work and he lost time. That something maybe I'm misunderstanding what he's saying there, but saying he lost time it just makes me uneasy. I don't think he's going to miss much of the regular season, but there is an element of he's going to have an abbreviated offseason, whether for his training purposes, because he's going to have to just recover from this. And I'm sure he can work on his left hand during the time when, his right hand's going to be immobilized. But, ideally you would like to take your summer to recover, but also to improve your game a lot. And if Domas is going to really be playing all summer with only one hand, it's going to hamper some of the potential development he could have, especially when it comes to his jump shot. Like, I think his jump shot's the thing that he most needs to improve in the offseason. And I just don't know if he's going to be able to work on that if his hand's going to be immobilized for 4 to 6 weeks.
If you're from Lithuania, and bless you if you are, then this is a blow. It's like, oh, this is really going to hurt our team.
Absolutely.
But if you're a Kings fan, I think this is like, whoo, not only is he going to be able to get that injury repaired, but he's going to be resting more this summer rather than playing in the World Cup.
Right. And we've talked about how, whether we have mixed emotions sometimes about guys playing for their overseas teams, and it's fine, but there is an element of, for your home club, it doesn't really do you much good. Like, it is a nerve-wracking proposition to have one of your stars playing overseas for their country. It is, it's more opportunities for them to get hurt in game action. And sure, that can happen whenever. DeMarcus Cousins tore his ACL in a practice. Klay Thompson, same thing. Like, it can happen anywhere playing basketball. But you're right. Like, at least now we know Domas will be sitting. He will be resting. He won't be risking further injury playing overseas. So there is at least that silver lining to look at.
This really irritates me because I know how hard the committee had to work.
Yeah.
The Beamie categories, they had to, it was not easy to figure out what the categories would be, who the nominees would be. Then you got people like Beeman on the YouTube chat. Absolute crime that Keegan Murray isn't in contention. That's what is Keegan Murray's nickname? Wait, do you hear yourself, Beeman? I appreciate your viewing and listening, but what?
I understand what he's saying because it has become a meme to just call Keegan, just say Keegan Murray and nothing else. That's the entire sentence, but it's not a nickname. That is quite literally just his name. So I was trying to think of one for Keegan. There isn't one. There's not a nickname for him right now besides his actual name. So I hear you, but sorry, no. Doesn't quite fit the qualifications. At least that's what the committee was telling me.
A little bit of a surprise early on here in the voting for the Beamie for best nickname because Red Velvet is second.
Wow.
Red Velvet is in second place.
Ooh.
The Dominator's not doing well. Swipe of the Fox is on the board, but Red Velvet running second at this point, a pretty distant second to Off Night.
Off Night. I mean, people really enjoy the Off Night name. I think it's okay. I think it's great when
people love defense.
The thing is,
Kings fans are craving for defense. They're starved for good defense.
No, they truly are. And people really do love Davion's defense. And I think that it is well appreciated. And I'm not trying to sway any voters. This is just my one tiff with the Off Night nickname. It's not really something you can call him. Like, it's not a name. Like, you can call someone, what's up, Red Velvet? Like, like, what's up, Off Night is.
That works, doesn't it?
It just doesn't. For me, whatever, it just feels a little clunky. Like, it's just, oh, yeah, that's Off Night over there. Like,
do we know how Kevin Herter feels about Red Velvet?
I think he's fine with it. Kevin's, yeah, he's a pretty funny guy. Like, he's a loose guy. I think he gets it. I mean, his other nickname, K-Von, is, that's based off of him essentially having like hood culture behind him, and he enjoys that nickname. He said he wants to leave it in Atlanta, but yeah, I think he's fine with Red Velvet. It works. He's got merch that says Red Velvet, so I would hope so. By the way, I definitely need to get some merch. Can I see I need a link for that Kevin Herter Red Velvet merch.
Red Velvet is closing the gap as we speak in the race for the Beamie for Nickname of the Year, but it's still Off Night leading. We'll update you on that in just a moment when we come back. Also, it's official. We've got our 2023 Hard Knocks team, and how can you not watch this?
Yeah,
next?
Tough.
Whitey Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Wednesday starts out comfortably. For the afternoon, expect plenty of sunshine with light winds, highs today in the upper 90s. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
I'm Craig Ashton of the Injury Law Firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, get up to 40% off select bathroom faucets and vanities. Plus, buy Southwire Romex Simple 12-gauge indoor wire at our everyday low price of $109. Head to your local Lowe's or visit us at Lowes.com for more deals you can't beat. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. About 7/6 through 7/12 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rillard with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NBA's Board of Governors approved 2 rule changes that will go into effect this season. Coaches will now get an extra challenge if their first challenge is correct. The other rule will be an attempt to curb flopping in games. There will now be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul called on the offending player's team. The opposing team will get a free throw. Possession will not change and can't be directly reviewed by a coach, but can be added to a call during a review of a different play. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the NFL and NFL Films have selected the New York Jets as this year's team for HBO's Hard Knocks. This is not the first time the Jets have been the Hard Knocks team. They first appeared on the show in 2010. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
I got to tell you, what's going on at the Beamies right now is surprising, if not shocking. I thought nickname of the year would be legitimate category, but maybe a lesser category. But it is sparking controversy. The voting is hot and heavy and very close. People are upset that Keegan Murray is not represented, but he doesn't really have a nickname.
People are just throwing nicknames out. I've heard a couple of these Keegan Murray nicknames, but some of these are ridiculous.
Threegan is getting
that's the one I've heard. I've heard Threegan Murray. I'm okay with that. That's I won't say it's clever, but like I get it. 1 + 1 = 2 = 3. I guess,
but it's
in
not
this case
common enough to be his actual nickname, is it?
No. Threegan, no. It's something you could say when he hits a 3, but it's not. I wouldn't say
is it on his basketball reference.
Definitely
page?
not. No, I checked the basketball reference. There's nothing on his basketball reference except for Keegan Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Someone says he could be the Big Chill.
Could be, but he's not.
Murray McFlurry from Core 3 says that.
How is that helping? Suggesting that?
Not really much at all. Call Keegan Babyface Joker since he's so serious. No, okay, nothing there. Another Murray
maybe
McFlurry.
We have stumbled on to the idea that Keegan Murray could probably he's on a career path where someday maybe he needs a nickname. but he doesn't have one right now.
No, he
So
doesn't.
he's not going to be a nominee for a Beamie.
Maybe next year. You
Yeah.
know, there's going to be another Beamie Award next year. It's just, you know, if Keegan wants to walk away with one of these shiny trophies here, he's going to have to earn it. And in order to earn it, you know, you gotta get a nickname besides your own name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other fortune. That your other doesn't really work for me. Keegan Auto Parts doesn't quite make sense to me.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be stunned if next year when we do the Beamies, if one of the nominees is full support.
You need to get a percentage because it is so perfect, and you are the one. We have tons of witnesses here. Whitey Gleason, Folsom Lake Award, if Jordan
I appreciate
Ford,
it. Yeah.
makes the roster.
The voting here for nickname of the year, guess what? Red Velvet has taken the lead.
Oh.
Very close, though.
It's a great nickname.
Yeah.
It is a great nickname. Him and Off Night, to me, that's going to be the one. I'm honestly surprised. Swipe of the Fox right now, only sitting at 11%. I think Swipa is a very good nickname. I guess, you know, it probably would work a whole lot better if De'Aaron was like special, was averaging like 2 or 3 steals a game, then it would really fit. But I still think it's a really clever nickname.
It also might be because a lot of people starting last season started calling him Game Over.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I no. Sorry,
Is that
Chris.
Christopher Law's nickname
Chris's,
for him?
Yeah, Game
I think I come up with pretty good nicknames.
That one's not bad. It's just it is a little off nighty to me where it just doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
Huh.
Like, what's up, Game Over? Oh yeah.
Why are you talking to them as their nickname?
Because people do that. People do that all the time. There are people in this chat who said when I said,
That's
"No,
definitely
I don't
Watkins
say
criteria,
what's up
huh?
off night."
Is it a good nickname? Well,
If it's
can I
a
call him that
nickname,
when I see him on the
you
street?
have to be able to be called it. That's what a nickname is. George the Iceman Gervin. What's up, Iceman? Works.
Swipa is not something they call it during game. That's not getting more votes. It's
yeah,
clearly
sure.
he says this is what they used to call me.
Yeah.
It's a nickname, but they don't say, and here comes is another 2 for Swipa. So it's kind of a different level.
G-Man peppers it in.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay. I stand corrected then.
Come on.
It's not a lot. You don't hear it a lot.
No, but you
Not a
hear
lot,
Red,
but
you'll hear
he'll
Red
take a
Velvet a
spot.
lot. You know, you hear. I guess you do hear Off Night every so often, but it's just
Red
for
Velvet's
me.
starting to
My
run away with
criteria,
this thing.
my criteria for a good nickname is
We
you
know
have
what
to
it
be
is.
called it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Trey Bays, how about that? That's a good one. That's a
Like
great
people
one.
like Whitey. When you see me say, "Hey, Whitey," that's not actually my name. My name is Kevin.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm glad that we established what a nickname is on this show.
Christopher Law just had the story. I think this is great news for NFL fans. The Jets are the Hard Knocks team, and it looked like this was inevitable. Maybe it took a while for the Jets to finally say, all right,
How much
do
will you
it."
pay us?
The
Okay.
NFL selected the Jets to be on the program for 2023. League source confirming to Pro Football Talk this morning. Of the teams that could be compelled to do the program, the Jets were clearly the most attractive team. If it wasn't the Jets, would have had to have been the Saints, Bears, and Commanders, unless someone else out of left field that said, we'll do it. Unlikely. So Jets, Saints, Bears, Commanders, Jet team, tremendous. Now that they have.
Yeah, I mean, that's clearly the best story out there. I mean, the Saints, we're going to get a lot of Derek Carr features. Like, that doesn't really move the needle much.
You know why else that was not an option? I just realized because John Gruden is working with the Saints.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's working with.
I didn't know
like
he got
a
another
consultant.
job. Okay.
He's not like an assistant coach, but he's working with them, I guess, to help them with Derek Carr. And John Gruden is in the middle of this thing now with Daniel Snyder and the emails and whether the league actually leaked some of those emails in order to try to get
him out. Right.
Yeah. So that's the last thing the league wants is any coverage for John Gruden.
That's why I thought it was a little strange that they were going to do Washington as well. Like why Washington was in the consideration, because I think it would have been a little disingenuous to do Hard Knocks on the Commanders and not mention this massive transition that they're going through
Well,
and
it's just
why.
they have criteria, and they felt they were one of the 4 teams in the bucket.
Yeah, they probably were like, okay, if everybody says no, we'll probably ask the Lions again, and then we'll go back to the Commanders. So
or we'll do
that
a
would make no
USFL
sense.
team or something.
Yeah, right. We'll do something else, but the Commanders are technically on the list. I think the Jets are clearly the best option there. You get the Aaron Rodgers storyline. I'm going to throw up, but we'll probably get 2 or 3 episodes of him just
You're not a big
rambling.
Aaron Rodgers guy?
Not even
Chico,
a
he's
little.
local. No, I'm with you.
He's a cheesehead.
You know, it's funny you say that because I was thinking last night of people in sports that I really, who knows what they're really like, but don't like them. Aaron Rodgers is close.
Top of my list.
I don't really root for him, especially as he's gotten more and more, seemingly just more
self-centered,
arrogant, and just kind of looks down his nose at people like, you're all stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. But last night watching the All-Star game, they showed the Fox pre- and post-game show, and look, they're right there
I
in
know
the
where
front
this is
row.
going.
And they showed, Jeter's like, I'm not a Yankee fan,
Whatever.
but he's Jeter. Okay. But A-Rod and Big Papi. I can't stand those guys.
Big Papi?
He is such a phony. Big Papi said, he
That's
failed.
crazy.
He failed a drug test.
He did.
No, he did not.
He did. But they said, oh, well, that should not have been released. So never mind.
The defense I will give Big Papi, because I am a huge fan, is that there were several players that said that when they found out that they tested positive, nothing happened. When Big Papi, they said like that he was one of the ones. The union came out and said this is ridiculous. This isn't the numbers really don't match up. We don't believe that he tested positive for whatever. I think he tested positive for whatever he ate in the Dominican Republic.
Really?
But I think he's just such a fun guy.
I think he's
I
a
don't
really
buy that
fun
he's a
guy.
fun guy.
I think I buy he's a fun
You're
guy.
supposed to be the Charles Barkley of our baseball show, okay? All right, watch. I'm going to eat popcorn.
See, he's not.
And I
great
think
at
that's
being
more of a
that.
producer
Yes.
situation than a Papi situation.
Yeah, I think Papi the person is probably incredible. Just life of the party, super fun loving, super light energy. But I do hear you on the Papi TV side is a little cringe and it is a little just over the top.
and
Over
phony.
the top. Yes.
Yeah, it's like maybe he's really like that.
Yeah.
But not to the degree they show on TV.
For sure. I think he's very
I
fun
don't like
loving.
the
though.
Red Sox, so maybe that's part of it too.
The A-Rod thing, I'm right there with you.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't
Watching
agree more.
him, he cannot be on television because part of being on TV is your fake chemistry with some Whitey, what we got going on, that fake thing that we do.
Yes.
A-Rod cannot do that.
Yes, partner.
Yeah, yes, yeah. A-Rod is just he really smiles and pushes, laughs out from his he can't do it. He just looks like he's having a bad time.
Anthony Edwards is one of my favorite NBA players just because when they told him A-Rod was behind the team, he said, I don't know. Who's that?
Who's
I don't
that?
know who that is.
That killed. That must have been the biggest shot to A-Rod's ego.
Most people wouldn't care, but A-Rod's like, what?
What?
He said, what?
Me?
You didn't know who I am?
I own the freaking team. He doesn't know who I am? Yeah. Oh, I know that hurt him something fierce. And absolutely shout out Anthony Edwards for sticking it to the man.
I've noticed that there are certain guys who had Hall of Fame candidacies that were kind of like, maybe, maybe not. And I'm thinking of some NFL guys. Then they go on TV, they become analysts for a few years. Next thing you know, boom, you're in the Hall of Fame. Boom, you're in the Hall of Fame. And I'll bet you that's part of A-Rod's deal. I'll be an analyst.
Yeah.
I'll kind of
trying to soften the blow. Right. Yeah.
And then I'll be in the Hall of Fame someday.
Except somehow Alex Rodriguez, just with his very punchable face, I think being on TV is probably worse for his case because I think it's an active reminder of, oh yeah, I hate that guy. I almost I haven't thought about him in a while, but seeing his stupid face in front of me again reminds me of how much I hate him. So I actually think that TV might be working against A-Rod.
I wouldn't say I hate Aaron Rodgers, but I'll be watching this closely. And I don't think I'm going to be rooting for him in this Jet situation.
No, I mean, it'll be it'll be good material. That's for sure. I guarantee Aaron Rodgers will say some crazy stuff. I mean, he's already this summer he has been on this offseason, he has been on a tour of just saying the most unhinged things possible. I mean, he had the whole psychedelic conference where he was promoting daily use of psychedelics, and he had his dark room thing. So I'm sure we're going to hear all about all that stuff, and I'm sure he's going to have some weird, oh yeah, every day I wake up at 3:44 and I meditate for 12 minutes and 35, just like weird stuff. I guarantee we're going to.
Would your opinion of him change if I told you that he used to be on, and I think before he was famous, I think he used to listen to this station? Does that change your opinion at all?
I hate Aaron Rodgers, and I've got nothing positive to say about him.
Oh, we've got an update on the Beamies. Oh, this is an incredible story developing at the Beamies. Also, MLB used to love Oakland so much, they actually put an all-star game there, but I don't think Chris would have enjoyed
You don't think
it.
so?
Next,
Okay.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes. Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, get up to 40% off select bathroom faucets and vanities. Plus, buy Southwire Romex Simple 12-gauge indoor wire at our everyday low price of $109. Head to your local Lowe's or visit us at Lowes.com for more deals you can't beat. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. About 7/6 through 7/12 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
To go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
Thanks for being with us today. Appreciate, as always, the comments. Text line 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140, and the YouTube chat on fire today. For example, here, Aaron talking about the Jets being on Hard Knocks. The opening episode better start with Rodgers coming out of his meditation hut.
Oh my gosh.
Just makes me laugh.
Yes, absolutely. That should be the opening scene is just Aaron. It's completely quiet. You hear some birds, maybe you see this weird TP looking thing, and you're like, I thought this was Hard Knocks. What's going on? What is this? And then he splits the curtains, walks out, looking all scruffy, probably hands out to his side. I am here. I have arrived in New York. Please praise me. Aaron Rodgers. What a guy. I don't like him. I do not like him.
Steph Curry more than you like.
I think I do. Wow. I think I definitely have a lot more respect for Steph Curry than I do for Aaron Rodgers. 100%.
As far as the Beamies go, cast your votes. Sactown Sports, our YouTube page. Nickname of the year for the Kings and Red Velvet at 45%. Doing well.
Pretty good.
Snipe of the Fox, 15%. The Dominator, 2%.
People
Off
don't like
night, off to an early lead. After that, though, off night down to 38%. So it's still anybody's Beamie, but right now Red Velvet has a leg up, to say the least.
It's a great nickname. I mean, it's a fantastic nickname. I'm surprised. I mean, I don't love it. It's probably my last choice, but 2% for the Dominator. That means like one person voted for Dominator.
And can you say that when you see him on the street? Can you call him that?
Probably not. What's up, Dominator? It's kind of
Chris's
corny.
rule for a good
It's pretty
nickname.
corny. Yeah, I think it works. It tracks. I mean, like, name one person who you can't call them their nickname. Off night. But that's how it's supposed to work.
Why can't you call him Off Night?
It's just weird. I don't know. It just doesn't work. I can't believe I don't know. It's like
I think
nails
that's a
on
Watkins problem.
It may be. I think I'm quickly learning it. It's just like nails on a chalkboard to me. It's just a little. It's fun. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever.
Top of the hour, we'll have a winner. Well, we'll have another category shortly after that, and a winner. Also going to look at Keegan Murray and how bright his future is with the Kings. And now some are saying, he could end up being their best player. So we have that coming up.
Spicy.
Real quick, I wanted to share this with you. You may already know this, Chris. But watching the All-Star game last night, everything going on with the fans there chanting, "Sell the team." I was reminded that, wow, there was a time when MLB loved Oakland so much that they had an all-star game in Oakland.
Does Rob Manfred know that?
I don't think he does.
Okay.
He
Did they
really
have an
care about
average
baseball.
all-star
He
attendance?
doesn't even know who Hank Aaron is.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
The attendance for that game was 49,671, including yours truly.
Okay.
By the way, it was either
Nice.
right before that or right after that. Sacramento held a march on baseball, and a whole bunch of people went down in buses because they were trying to get Major League Baseball to give Sacramento an expansion franchise. It didn't happen, but they had a march on baseball, and everybody in Sacramento, not everybody, but a whole bunch of people took their buses down.
Sounds
there.
more like a
Yeah,
protest
their
of
buses
baseball.
down there.
March
Like,
on
"Hey,
baseball."
We're here. We want a team. I don't think you would have cared for the game, though. July 14th, 1987, in Oakland, California, the National League All-Stars defeated the American League Stars. It was 13 innings. Tim Raines hit a two-run triple in the 13th.
Sounds exciting.
And held on. So 13 innings, National League 2, American League nothing.
Geez. It was a 0-0 game
for 12 innings.
Oh my gosh. What kind of all-star game is that? I mean, I don't know if that's any better than the NBA alternative of 170 to 150.
Look at the
but
guys that were there. Ricky and Dave Winfield and Darryl Strawberry and Andre Dawson,
Right.
Cal Ripken,
all
Ray
of those
Boggs,
names, and it might as well have been
Ryan
you and me.
Sandberg,
Because none of them could get
Eric
runs.
Davis, Ozzy. Yeah.
So much for
It was-
all-stars.
It was tough because also, when they start these games, and this was a factor a little bit last night, the West Coast games, it's like
It's still sunny.
Yeah.
There's that weird transition
Yeah.
where like the pitcher's pitching in the shade,
Yeah.
but the hitters like
And the
got
pitchers are
sun.
literally the best in baseball.
Right.
So good luck trying to hit that.
It's already hard enough to swing at it when you can fully see it, but then when it goes from dark to bright and it's a white ball, it's like, good luck trying to figure that one out, buddy. No, I would not. You're right, Whitey. I would not have enjoyed that all-star game at all. I probably would have left like 6th or 7th inning and been like, okay, this is clearly going
You can't
nowhere.
leave the All-Star game early.
Why? If anything, that's definitely the game to leave. There's
Anyway,
nothing at stake.
yeah,
I'm out.
This morning I found my ticket for that game. I was thinking of this and I thought, wow, I was remembering the game. It's like, wow, Chris really would not.
You know what?
Like
that game warrants a second All-Star game. If it's going to be 0-0 for 12 innings, give me a second one, because I was promised to see all of the stars, and I only saw pitchers.
We're coming back with more on the Beamies and a look at Chris Mannix, what he has to say about Keegan Murray and how good Keegan could be. Could he be the Kings' best player? And we're sticking around here through this break on YouTube.
Stay live on YouTube during the break. We're gonna chat it up with some of our YouTube listeners.
Yeah.
So get in there, and if you have any questions or want us to talk about something that might not make the show today, feel free and put what you want us to talk about during this break in there.
Keegan Murray's brilliant future is coming up. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports.
What's
Get
up,
the latest on
everybody?
Equipment, area courses, people who play the great
Whitey,
game, and plenty
got
of good
his mic off.
conversations about golf.
Let's see here.
The Golf to Go Hour with
Let's
Frank
see
LaRosa,
here.
Thursdays at 6 p.m. on
Willie
Sactown
Bowen.
Sports.
How about this? What if the Kings signed Harry Giles and Jake Stevens? I did see that Harry Giles is had a workout, I think 2 days ago for all NBA teams to go look at him play. Sean Cunningham was on the show yesterday, talked about how he was at the practice at the training and wanted him to maybe be signed by an NBA team trying to make a comeback. I don't know if the Kings fit makes sense for HG at this point, but I think he's a guy who deserves to be in the NBA. I mean, he was the number 2 recruit coming out of college or coming out of high school. And
summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar, and while you're at it, make sure
out
your
of
roof
the
is in good
NBA
shape
is a little bit
all
wild
seasons.
to me. I know he went
Jason
through a
Ross
lot
here
of
to tell you
knee
about
injuries
ACR
in
Solar
his high school
and home
time,
services.
but
Go to
I think Harry Giles
acrsolar.com
is
to find out
who's
all the different
deserving of
things
at least one
that they
more
can
shot.
provide
And
for you.
if I'm
And
not
while we're
mistaken, I
all
heard-
watching
I think
utility
Sean
costs
said
go up,
yesterday that he's
along
able
with
to,
everything
to
else,
earn a two-way
why not make the
contract,
most
so
of the
that's gonna help
sunshine
him,
beating down on your
in
roof?
terms of
Harness that
finding a
solar
place,
power and
because,
cut those
it's going to
rising
be tough
utility
for
bills
someone to
while at
convince
the same
to
time
sign him to an
improving
actual
the value of
contract
your
and
home.
an actual
ACR Solar and Home Services
team
makes
deal,
it
but
easy with a
getting him
simple
on a two-way, I
evaluation
think, is a
that'll
lot
show
more
you just
digestible.
what it would
Probably
take
with
to get your home
three
generating
two-way
savings
options,
to
it's a
help
really
your
good
bottom
how's it
line.
going, Whitey?
Sorry
and help
about that.
protect
No, it's
the
good. It's called
environment.
filibustering.
So start now, and while you're there,
it's a really
ACR
good
Solar and
way
Home Services can make sure
of Harry
your
to
roof
earn a spot
is in
with one
prime
more
condition.
extra spot
So
available.
just go to
for each team. I
acrsolar.com
think
and start
it's gonna
your
be,
savings today.
I'd be pretty surprised
ACR
if Harry
Solar
Giles
Home
doesn't end up
Services,
on a roster
quality,
by the end.
value, and
Really?
integrity.
I think
since
so. I mean, he's a really nice guy
My
too. I think
brother-in-law died
that definitely
suddenly,
plays a
and now
factor
my
in it.
sister
The
and her
fact that
kids have to
he's
sell
an
their
easy
home.
guy to be around.
That's
You
why
don't
I
have
told
to,
my husband we could not put
worry
off
about
getting
his
life insurance
attitude. He's
any
just going to be a
longer.
great teammate, and
An
he's
agent
really
offered us a
truthfully trying to
10-year,
make an NBA comeback. He's a dude who's got tons
for
of
nearly
pedigree, and
$50 a
at one
month.
point, people
Then
thought he
we
was going
called
to be
SelectQuote.
like Kevin
SelectQuote found
Garnett,
us
and
identical coverage
obviously
for
injuries
only
played a toll on
$19
his
a month.
career, but
A savings of
somebody who's really good and just a really good
$369 a
human
year.
as well.
There's a
Whether
number
you
of really
need a
interesting players that have this
$500,000
personal
policy or a
workouts.
$5
Yeah,
million
I think Dion
policy,
Waiters sold one
SelectQuote
with
could
him.
save
I
you
think I
more
saw
than
John
50%
Wall
on
as
term
well
life
had
insurance.
a
For your
workout over
free
there in
quote,
Vegas.
call
It's the time and
SelectQuote
place to
at
do it. All the scouts and
1-800-330-1991.
GMs are out in Vegas right now for Summer
That's
League. So
1-800-330-1991.
You got their whole
Or go to SelectQuote.com.
yeah, it's everybody. I saw the other day. I was
1-800-330-1991.
watching the Celtics game,
SelectQuote.
and it's Joe
We
Mazzulla
shop.
literally surrounded by like 4 rows of just, I assume, assistant coaches, scouts, everybody, and it's just like, I mean, that's why I got major FOMO this weekend not going to Vegas. It's just such a great environment, and even if your team isn't playing, just to be around all the basketball is just
feel like you're part of it.
Nothing better, man. There's just nothing better, and the only bad part is honestly the Vegas Heat. If it were for the Vegas Heat,
just don't go outside that much.
Honestly, it's not a bad idea. Like, I mean, you have the capability of doing it. You just stay in Thomas and Mack in the Cox Pavilion all day long, and you get to watch just basketball all day. And then by the time you get out at 7:30 or 8, it's cooler. I wouldn't say it's cold, but yeah, it's a good time. So yeah, it was. I think Harry Giles will make a roster. I have a tough time seeing him making the Kings roster. And then on Jake Stevens, I feel like I need to apologize to everybody if I got your hopes up for Jake Stevens. My hopes were up for Jake Stevens, and I don't think it's going to happen for our guy.
He was playing last night.
He did. He started for Nemi. Only played 11 minutes. Didn't show much of anything.
1 for 1.
Hey, there's that. I think he has 4 points collectively through this summer league so far. It was not the 7-footer, 7'10" wingspan 40% 3-point shooter that I was promised.
Isn't it amazing? Because seriously, we look at basketball players. That guy's tall, he can play basketball. And then you see at the highest level, obviously, these huge people, and they've been very skilled players, high school and college. And you get to the NBA, and it's like, nope, you can't play here.
Can't do it. It's crazy. It's like, Namias Queta is a perfect example where it's like, that guy's massive. Like, there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to play basketball. But especially, I think it does have a lot to do with like the pace that the game is played at these days. It's really tough for like slow lumbering guys. Like they don't, like it's not the good old days when people used to walk the ball down, you throw it into the post, and then that's kind of when the offense really gets going. Now it's like you might go 4, 5, 10 straight possessions without the big man touching the ball.
Desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
What do you think of Keegan Murray? How good he can be, how great he can be. We have this from Chris Mannix. He was on the Ryan Russillo podcast. Here's what Chris Mannix says about how bright the future could be for Keegan
I didn't
Murray.
get the sense talking to people in and around that organization that, the trade that opened up all that room was about anything externally. I think it was about realizing that Richaun Holmes wasn't working out there and getting his contract off the books. It was obviously about creating some flexibility to give Domantas Sabonis some more money. They're just a big believer in what they're doing internally. They believe that internal growth next year is going to make them a better team. And there's reasons to believe that. I mean, it is the Sacramento Summer League, but man, Keegan Murray looked great in that brief period. And they look at him and they see a potential franchise player. I mean, they believe he's as good as anyone they have on their roster, including De'Aaron Fox, including Domantas Sabonis. They believe he's that next star for their team. So if he takes a jump, that makes, an already really good team better next year.
Wow. How about that? I have not heard that, but I'm not saying I don't believe Chris Mannix. He is a lot more plugged in than I will ever be, but that's incredibly shocking to hear. I mean, we've heard they have high hopes for Keegan. I think we all assume that those high hopes are, can he be a consistent third scorer for this team where, clearly Fox and Sabonis are the number 1 and 2 in the pecking order. And then, then there's a spot available, but sounds like from what Chris Mannix is hearing, there's the ceiling is infinite for Keegan. They think that he's got potential to be the best player on the team. I don't see it right now, but I guess, he is 6'9" with elite shooting ability. If you can add on to that, I mean, I guess I could see a possible path where that could happen.
Yeah. Wasn't Macklemore part of the All-Star festivities? Keegan Murray, the ceiling can hold him. Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, he was. Yeah. The dunk contest. Is that what you're referring to?
No, I think he was part of the All-Star baseball All-Star stuff because he's a
Ben McLemore was?
No. Macklemore.
Gotcha. I was like,
you just said what I'm supposed to say.
Ben McLemore right now.
That might be the key difference of generations right there.
Backwards though, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's that makes a lot. I was like, yeah, he did a dunk contest. I don't know. Sure. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
But the ceiling is the roof for Keegan, as
So
Michael Jordan would say.
the Kings didn't need to go out and get Kuzma or somebody because they think they already have that guy. He's already
Right.
here.
Well, and that's what we
He's just
talked
not
about.
there yet.
That's what we talked about when it came to Kyle Kuzma in free agency was, okay, yeah, this guy could come in and be your second or third option offensively, but what does that do for Keegan's development? Like that would have definitely stunted the amount of shots that he was going to get and probably the opportunities that he would have had next year. And so for him to reach the level of being, I almost like can't even fathom that, but for him to reach the level of being the team's best player, it's going to take a lot of work. He's got to be a better finisher at the rim. He's got to be able to put the ball on the ground. He's got to be a better, more consistent defender. It's great to hear that the Kings feel that way. It's just, I think that if that does happen, it's going to be 4 to 5 years down the line. I don't see it happening in the next 2 or 3 years or so.
Very interesting to me just to start to ponder, okay, well, that's one of the reasons they dealt with this offseason the way they did. Because as I say, they think Keegan is that guy that everyone, or a lot of fans, I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of fans were hoping they'd go out and get.
Yes.
And their feeling is obviously they're not going to come out and say it, but he's already here. He's not quite there yet, but we didn't need to go out and get an inefficient Kyle Kuzma when we have Keegan Murray's in the process of growing into becoming that guy that you want.
Right. I think
he's already here.
It's
He's
really
in the house.
interesting too, because like the knock on drafting Keegan Murray was, oh yeah, like, you know, his ceiling isn't that high, but the floor, like you just know what you're getting.
Right.
You might not get the pop of a Jaden Ivey, but at least you know what Keegan Murray is going to be able to
You know who
bring
that player actually is? The player you're describing is actually Chris Duarte. That's who you're describing.
Really?
Yeah. That's when he came out. A lot of people said that.
Yeah.
about him. But Keegan Murray is not that guy.
No, I mean, he was the 4th pick in the draft. Like, I mean, to use Chris Duarte as the counter, like Chris Duarte was a 13th, 14th pick in the draft. When you're picked 4th in the draft, there needs to be a belief, at least, in some level of upside. You can't just go with a role player at the 4th pick in the draft. That is malpractice. That's not doing what's best for your organization. That's not maximizing the value of that pick. And so we probably should have known that the Kings view Keegan as having that level of ceiling, but this is now two straight weeks where we have heard Luke Laux last week and then Chris Mannix this week, but Luke Laux saying last week, comparing him to Kawhi Leonard in
like that.
in more or less words.
I don't like that, but I get it.
But I mean, that just shows how much belief they have in him. And, it's good to hear, when you hear stories about how stars come to be, especially guys like Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, it is similar to stories like what Luke Laux told last week on Keegan just taking over a practice one day. Like, Keegan needs to have those regular season moments as well, whether it be in games or in practice. That's where you'll really see how far he can develop. What's the next step he's going to take, and how big of a jump will he make from year 1 to year 2, I think is going to tell us a lot about how much of a jump he can make years 4 and 5 and 6 and 7.
That begs the question, if they think that highly of him, why did he play Summer League? And I think we know the answer to that too. And I think the Kings addressed this. They want him to become more of a leader. It's like, you're on this team and you're way better than anybody else. So play like it and lead. And he did. He responded to that. It's like he had no problems being that guy.
Yeah.
For 2 games, I'll do that. Take the rest of summer off. He was dominant.
Right. Yeah.
We all know.
It's about him getting a level of comfort. Like, I think Keegan last year was just very nervous and very uncomfortable a lot of the time. And I think him finding his voice would be really big for his confidence and him finding a role with this team. Like, I talk about it all the time, but Mike Brown wants his players to be the vocal ones. He doesn't want to be the one always giving the instruction. It's going to have to come from the players at some point. And, Keegan Murray is a very unlikely source, but also if Keegan Murray steps up and says something to the team, if Keegan Murray's like, hey guys, we're not doing what coach is saying, we're being late on our rotations, we're being lazy, everyone's going to listen. Everyone will listen because it's so unexpected to come from Keegan. And I think that's what they're looking for, is he doesn't always have to be the loudest voice, but when he talks, he should make it mean something and people will listen. So that part of his development is also going to be something that's going to come with time. It's not going to come overnight, but I think his relationship with De'Aaron Fox is going to foster something that should be helpful to that as well.
We've heard from a lot of Kings fans today on the YouTube chat are upset that Keegan Murray is not one of the nominees in our Beamie Award for Nickname of the Year, but he doesn't have a nickname yet. Certainly nickname worthy on that path, but he doesn't have one yet. And Keegan Murray is not, it's cool, but
it's quite literally his name.
But I mention this because, we only have a few more minutes left before the voting on this category closes. And Off Night is leading Red Velvet.
Storming back. A late comeback here for Off Night. Maybe it's because everyone heard my argument against it and it actually convinced them.
I don't know.
Boy, this guy is way off.
Yeah.
But Off Night is taking the lead here. 42% of the votes for Off Night, 40% for Red Velvet. So it is neck and neck. If you haven't voted yet and you feel like Red Velvet is clearly the best nickname on the team, get your vote in now, because 1 or 2 votes can definitely sway this thing. So
voting is
we'll
open
be
only
waiting
for a few more moments. Didn't we get more votes for this category than the first one?
We are close. So we're having solid participation amongst the chat. Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Appreciate that.
For
Wait till you
chiming
hear
in.
that next category.
Wait until you hear the next one.
Whoa.
And wait until you hear the last one as well. The last one, I think
really
we saved the
looking forward
best
to
for
that
last.
I think so. As far as the Kings go last night, they shot the ball well, but not as well as the Chicago Bulls. The big story for the Kings, though, of course, was Jordan Ford, 25 points last night, 8 assists, only 1 turnover.
Yeah.
He's going to make this team one way or the other.
I hope so. He's at least going to get a training camp invite, but I think a 2-way contract is the best way for him to go. He was part of Stockton last year, spent the entire season on the G League team. Just bump him up, give him some opportunity. He was great in the G League, averaged 14 points. Just, give him the flexibility to come up. And, even if you bring him into a 2-way contract, you can, if you want, still sign a veteran to be your third point guard, and he can kind of be the fourth if you want even. I just think he's somebody who definitely deserves a shot, and I think he's earned it from everywhere. Like this, I think he's performed well enough to, at this point, if the Kings aren't going to be the one to give him a shot, I think somebody else will, at least a training camp invite. So it might as well be his hometown Sacramento Kings. Let's get it done, Monty. Come on.
Yeah, Kings made 16 threes last night. Jordan Ford 4 of 7. Your guy Keon Ellis was 3 of 5.
How about that?
And I said that Jordan Ford was a story. He was, but the subplot or the secondary story, Mike Daum with 22 points, 5 of 9 beyond the arc.
Incredible. I mean, he to me was the biggest standout. We kind of knew Jordan Ford had that kind of offensive pop to him, but Mike Daum was the Daum and Ford show, honestly. It was those two in the second half. Daum and Dahmer. Yeah. Yeah. So if he makes the roster, that could be a great game that we play. But yeah, I mean, I was incredibly impressed with Jordan Ford last night. Hit a deep 3, which was incredibly impressive. And you know what? How about that Jalen Slauson block? I don't know if you saw that, but we got the first example of a replay that was overturned, or a challenge that was overturned, and then the Kings got to keep their timeout and an additional challenge as well. It was a great block by Jalen Slauson, one of his as we've mentioned, one of his few good moments here in Summer League.
Made a couple shots last night.
Made a couple shots. Yeah, good to see him starting to get comfortable and find his game. You can kind of see how he would make an impact on any roster, really. Defensive guy and really good hustle, great athlete.
On the YouTube chat, Pike916 says, Red Velvet was a self-made nickname. That doesn't count. Nicknames are bestowed upon you.
There's no way Kevin Herter came up with Red Velvet himself. I gotta look up that.
And if that is true, we have to stop using Black Mamba too, because Kobe gave himself that name.
Right. So yeah, it's frowned upon. It's not good form, but if you do it and it catches on, it's still a legitimate nickname, right?
Yes, I am seeing here. There is a Bleacher Report article that says Atlanta Hawks Kevin Herter announces new nickname Red Velvet. Yeah, Kevin Herter of the Atlanta Hawks has announced that he will go by a new nickname, Red Velvet.
Shattering news with just moments left in the voting.
Wow, this is like a Laramie Tunsil situation. This is almost as bad. It's like moments before his moment of glory.
He's pulling
away. I don't know. Oh, man, are we going to do this? Oh, geez, I'm nervous now. Does this look bad on the committee?
Last chance to cast your vote.
Oh, no.
The Beamie for Nickname of the Year.
Oh, no.
On the YouTube chat, we'll come back with the winner. Also, we have a brand new category, and it's a great category. The Beamies next. They continue with Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh, my, what a take that time by Namias Sabonis, and leads Gobert. That's strong. Two-hand flush off the dribble, thrown down by Trey Lyles.
And welcoming some new faces.
Yes. Toby Jones with 2 more.
Now they go to Duarte in the corner for 3, and he rains it down.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Welcome back to the Beamies.
Oh, boy.
Whitey and Watkins, we got a situation here.
You've got controversy.
We're going to leave the voting open just for a few more minutes. I think we have to, right, Chris? Just for a few more moments?
We can. I mean, we can see if anything shakes out differently. If not, the committee's going to have to make a ruling.
Split a trophy? Yeah, we have a tie right now. We really don't want a tie, so we're waiting for just one more vote. When we get that, we can move on to the next category. But I think we can go ahead and mention the nominees,
yes.
right? And then,
yes.
Before we get, we're a little bit in between here, but it's time to announce our next category, and then we will have a winner in the Nickname of the Year Beamie competition as soon as we have one. But our next category at the Beamies, hope you're enjoying the Beamies. The next category is the highlight of the year. Here once again, your host, Chris Watkins.
Hello. Welcome to the Beamies again. Welcome back to the Beamies. This next category, as my co-host just mentioned, sorry, I'm going to put down the trophy now.
Is break the trophy?
I think I just broke the trophy. It's fine. Highlight of the year. Your nominees. Are we playing them immediately after I say them? Okay. De'Aaron Fox, game winner against the Orlando Magic.
Two-hand flush thrown down by Chuma Okeke, and a ball that skipped off their hands on the inbounds. Fox comes up the floor, 2 seconds. Here's a 35-footer for the win. He's got the bucket in an unbelievable finish in overtime. De'Aaron Fox from well over 30 feet straight away. After the Kings had turned it over on a two-man squeeze in the corner, Okeke took the ball to the rim for the flush to tie the score. And then De'Aaron Fox, no timeouts available, and Fox in his return to action hits a game-winning, buzzer-beating three. Your final score, 126-123.
Incredible. Just an incredible shot.
What a great call. I mean, as great as the shot was, the call was almost.
There's no way he was expecting it either. I mean, De'Aaron pulled up from half court, and I mean,
G-Man was all
incredible.
Over every aspect of that.
Incredible. He's the best. He's the best there ever was. And I'm sure this call is just as good. How about another De'Aaron Fox game winner for you, this time in Chicago?
114. Kings out of timeouts. They use their last one for the challenge. Fox advances the dribble across the logo. 5 seconds to go. It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple. 7/10 of a second remaining. A three-point shot will be reviewed. It's not over yet, but fourth quarter Fox has come through one more time.
Incredible. Goosebumps. I have goosebumps.
I'm effing nice game.
I'm effing nice, if you will all recall. Infamous game, infamous moment. Great time.
Maybe fourth quarter Fox should have been the nominee for the nickname.
Anyway, how about this moment? Some say this is the loudest Golden One Center has ever gotten. How about this game-winning shot from Kevin Huerter against the Utah Jazz in Golden One Center?
Fox into the front court, into the paint, pulls up, trying to tie it around a two-bouncer, no good. Kept alive by the Kings. Back to Fox, floater, way short, no good. Rebound, grabbed by Harrison Barnes. Swings to Huerter, three on the way. He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. 30 points, a season high for Huerter, and it's 9.2 seconds to go in the ball game.
G-Man there also pointing out 30-point game for Kevin Huerter. joked around that he was allergic to 30. Breaks that with a game winner. Again, some say the loudest Golden One center has gotten to this day.
Two of the things that jump out about the calls again, and I know the plays are bigger than the calls, but both of those last two, G-Man right there with the shot is good. Here's how much time is left. Right there.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Because that's the worst part about listening to radio. You're like, I don't know what the score is, and I have no idea how much time is left.
Yeah.
G-Man's got it.
He's pretty good.
He just knows what he's doing. Somebody signed that kid. And the last one we have here, definitely not the least, also against the Utah Jazz, De'Aaron Fox with a dunk all over Utah.
Kings go inside. Fox powers down a two-hand flush from the left baseline, and he was fouled. And my goodness, that one came out of nowhere. And Fox just viciously attacking the iron, and he'll get an and one. He posterized Kelly Olynyk. Oh, my goodness.
Take that, Kelly. How about that? Those are your nominees. We have 2 game winners from De'Aaron Fox. I guess technically a game winner from Kevin Huerter. There was still time on the clock, but it was ultimately was the game winner from Kevin Huerter. And then De'Aaron Fox dunking on Kelly Olynyk. For those who are more visual, De'Aaron Fox drives, as G-Man mentioned, pretty unexpectedly, dunks it on Kelly Olynyk, hangs on to the rim, kind of very reminiscent of Dave Chappelle in the Prince skit where he says game blouses and then falls off the rim. Almost like scene for scene, a perfect recreation from De'Aaron Fox. Those are your nominees for highlight of the year.
Wow. That was the greatest dunk by a Kings player over a Utah Jazz player since, I don't know if you remember this, Ronnie Price over
how could you forget
Carlos Boozer?
I mean, that's infamous. That's seriously.
You do remember that?
Yes, that's
I was
seriously
there,
maybe the best dunk in Sacramento Kings history.
That was saved on my friend's DVR for years.
Really?
Was it really?
Absolutely.
It's just like,
it was a night
hey guys,
before
come over.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was
Wow.
incredible.
That's incredible. And I mean, for Ronnie Price of all people, Carlos Boozer, just if you watch that game, you said you watched that game live?
I was there.
Wow.
Yeah, we were season ticket holders.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have to be a true fan to be watching at that point in time. So shout out you and shout out Ronnie Price, but also shout out to all of our highlights of the year.
And now, Chris Watkins, if you would, it's time for you to announce the winner of the Beamie for Nickname of the Year. We do have a winner, right?
There we go. Yes, we do have a winner for the Sacramento Kings Beamie Award for Nickname of the Year. Goes to
very close
Kevin Red Velvet Huerter.
Congratulations.
Huerter earned 43% of this year's vote. Off Night, close second at 39%. Swipa, 13%. This is his first nomination for an award this year, but it won't be his last.
It's very good. Very good work there.
Kevin was not here to accept this award. On his behalf, I don't know, we'll give it to Jason
leave
Ross
it in
tomorrow.
the lobby and see if anybody else wants it.
The morning show guys talk to Kevin Huerter, so maybe they can present him with this award at some point
Isn't
next
that the
year.
same award we had for the...
Don't worry about it. It's
Okay.
fine. It's fine.
All right.
It's fine.
I'm just saying if someone comes and takes it for the first
Well,
one.
whoever
all
first
right.
come, first serve. Whoever
Yeah.
gets it gets the trophy. Okay.
All right, so it's all over. That was very close. We had to go to overtime.
Yes, we did have to
And
go
I
to
thought that was
overtime.
going to be a minor category, and it turned out to be major in many ways.
Major. That was also, it wouldn't be an award show without controversy, without people talking after. And, the Academy might have to answer some questions the committee, not the Academy. The committee might have to answer some questions about the fact that it was a self-appointed nickname. And as all great nicknamers know, you cannot give yourself a nickname.
But it looks like you can. If you can give yourself a nickname and win a Beamie for it, I'd
That's
say
true. I mean,
you actually can.
The mold has been broken. If anything, it really speaks to how good of a nickname it is. The committee will have to look at it. They will take your email complaints, and they will probably throw them in the garbage. But they will consider it. They will consider any wrongdoing.
Very close.
So,
I wonder if we'd gone fourth quarter Fox, if things might have been different. But you never know.
We also didn't put Black Falcon on there, which
it was considered.
Probably, Dominator didn't perform very well. 5% for the Dominator.
Yeah. Some people are a little bitter about it. Pike916 says, can you guys start calling me Blonde Thunder? I guess we can all make our own nicknames now.
Sure, why not? BL, what up?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm sorry, BT. Wow,
Yeah.
where did
Ryan and
L
Stockton, how many challenges do we get? You will get no challenges.
No.
The committee has worked very hard on all
Yeah,
of
the
this.
committee worked hard, and the votes have been cast.
Yeah.
If maybe there's enough petition, maybe we can get a recount, but it would take a lot of complaints. So we'll see.
The only thing that I would say is, and it's very unlikely, if someone came up with a new category,
sure,
we could maybe visit a few more categories, but
Right.
I don't think we're going to need to do that.
I don't think so. We got some, and we've saved the best for last with these.
Yes,
with
we
the highlights. I mean, come on, best highlight. Who doesn't love a great highlight? And then I'm telling you, this last award that we will be giving out, the last Beamie, is it's the best one, and it's the one that I want the most input on. So stick around and wait for that, because I desperately would love to hear what people think of our last category.
I think the De'Aaron Fox game winner versus Orlando is probably the favorite here.
So good.
And having seen it, and no, I wasn't there, JR, but having saw that, having seen that on TV, it was one of those things where it takes you a minute to process that. Wait, that really happened?
Yeah. Like that's how you ended the game with a half-court shot, and it was early in the year too, and it was like,
wasn't that the game where Orlando made a series of mistakes in the final minute where, wow, they probably should have salted that one away. Ooh, they probably should have won the game there. Oh, but they didn't. Oh, well, that's going to cost
They went into overtime and everything. Very unnecessary. Didn't need to. Kings got saved.
Yes,
and then it was really like okay, I guess we somehow just won this game, even though we definitely weren't supposed to. Very unlikely result. Orlando, it was kind of the first time as well when we saw that, the Magic aren't very good, but they're giving the Kings a lot of problems because of their length. That was an interesting development from that game, but for De'Aaron to just come up big and hit that shot, it was really the tone setter in the beginning of what ended up being a fantastic clutch player of the year campaign. And just so unlikely. I mean, he literally pulled up from a step in from the half court line and pulled up like it was a normal jump shot, and just incredibly surprising, and just a great shot.
Although the I'm really nice game was
I'm incredibly
also,
nice.
Yes.
I'm a very nice. Yes, I am very nice. Also very unlikely. He just pulled up. Like a lot of people were thinking, oh, he's going to drive it to the lane, do his thing, look for a floater, maybe look for that free throw line extended jump shot. Just pulled up from three. He said after the game that he had the space, and so he felt confident enough to pull up. Incredibly shocking that he hit it, but man, he nailed it. And clearly the best part of it is his reaction after the I'm incredibly nice was just the icing on top. And it's always great when someone who is clutch and is built like that acknowledges I'm that guy.
There are a lot of guys throughout the course of the NBA who've been very good players who really would rather not take that shot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Some people shy away from it. I mean, some people,
Eddie Johnson was a guy who always wanted to take that shot, a former Sacramento King going way back to the first
and
days.
especially taking bad, quote unquote, bad shots for those, a half court shot in a three, walking into a thrie.
Yeah.
You wouldn't necessarily say, a lot of people might be like, I don't want to mess up my clutch field goal percentage, or, I would rather get an excellent shot than just take a shot. But when you're clutch like De'Aaron is, I mean, it's any shot is a good shot. Just get the ball in his hands in those moments, and he'll make the most
What do
of
you
it.
think of a three-way tie for first so far in the race for this Beamie?
I'm telling you, don't sleep on the Kevin Huerter game winner. That's the
one
audio
that's not tied for first.
Really? Wow. Well, I'm shocked. Well, watch out for a late push from that, because the pop on that, the G-Man's call didn't really do it justice, because really the thing that was so special about that is on the TV broadcast, it sounds like they broke every mic in the arena. Just the pop, you can hear it, the audio peak and just get super scratchy because it's so loud in the building. It's incredible. Great moment. This is a really tough one to pick from. I don't know if I have one that is better than all the others.
We're back with more from the Beamies. And is Sasha taking over HB's spot? Is that part of the Kings' master plan? Should it be? Next, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Cal Ripken in 2001 won the MVP there. Yeah, then he hit the home run. I think it was off a Dodger Chan-Ho Park, if I remember right.
There's no way Chan-Ho Park was in an All-Star game. If he was, that's
okay. Kyle, if my man, I feel like it's. I could be
Chan-Ho
wrong.
Park was a 2001 All-Star for the Dodgers.
Bro. Oh, Chan-Ho Park sucked.
Well, Cal Ripken hit it out of Chan-Ho Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
Get your superhero squad together and join forces as we take on the Minnesota Twins on Saturday, July 15th during Marvel Superhero Day. All fans can enjoy this special Marvel-themed day at the ballpark, along with fun photo opportunities, character appearances, and in-game features as part of the fun. Get there early to snag a Captain Marvel bobblehead presented by Extra Mile. Tickets start at just $10 and are available at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th. With Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NBA's Board of Governors approved 2 rule changes that will go into effect this season. Coaches will now get an extra challenge if their first challenge is correct. The other rule will be an attempt to curb flopping in games. There will now be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul called on the offending player's team. The opposing team will get a free throw. The session will not change and can't be directly reviewed by a coach, but can be added to a call during a review of a different play. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the NFL and NFL Films have selected the New York Jets as this year's team for HBO's Hard Knocks. This is not the first time the Jets have been the Hard Knocks team. They first appeared on the show in 2010. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
We have a Domantas Sabonis update. May have heard the story today. Report out of Lithuania that Domantas Sabonis is not going to be playing for Lithuania in the FIBA World Cup Championship because he decided to have surgery on his thumb. But there's a report from James Ham, the Haminator, Hambone.
Hamster.
Yeah, hamster.
Hamilton.
On Twitter, James Ham reports that according to a league source, Domantas Sabonis did not have surgery on his avulsion fracture in his right thumb. He continues to follow a strict rehab protocol and was unable to play for the Lithuanian national team this summer. So not sure what's going on there. Reports out of Lithuania. Maybe they're just trying to cover his tracks or make it look more palatable from their standpoint. Like, hey, he had to have surgery, so he can't play for us. And maybe he's just, no, I'm rehabbing. I don't know. Anyway, this appears to be, this comes from a league source. So obviously we'll have to keep an eye on it and find out where the truth lies. But it sounds like that he has not had the surgery. So I guess that's good.
Yeah, I would trust Ham. And I'm also seeing Sean Cunningham putting out the same thing. So those two guys are about
ham
as
sandwich?
Well. Ham sandwich. Yeah. You get a Cunningham ham sandwich if you want. So yeah, I mean, the fact that both of those two guys are coming out and saying that those reports aren't true, probably I believe those guys, they're very well connected.
Yes,
and,
they are.
You know,
Yes, they
something tells me that their sources are close to the team, and I believe they're reporting, especially if both of them independently are putting that out.
Sounds like something to your point that the team decided, hey, we need to let people know what's really on here. Seriously.
Right.
Like,
No, absolutely.
Hey, you guys, this is what the story really is.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Because there's a big difference between, not having surgery and having surgery, even if, his recovery is still happening, it's a lot better for, I think, the long-term health if it's something that can heal naturally instead of having to go underneath the knife. And obviously, like we were talking about when we thought he did have surgery, this now means he can continue to work on his game throughout the off season and won't have to take any time resting his finger or anything like that, or doing extensive rehab on that thumb, which I'm sure he already is doing. But it's always good to hear. It's always good news when you hear that somebody doesn't have surgery. So we should definitely be taking this as good news.
It's also possible that the Lithuanian national team head coach Kazis Maksvytis, maybe he doesn't really know. He said, according to reports here from Frankie, the quote is, the main reasons behind Domantas' availability this summer was his contract and health. He tried to recover without the surgery, but it didn't work, and he lost time after the surgery. Everything takes longer. He apologized for not coming and promised to be available next summer. But
that's very strange, because that sounds like somebody told him he was having surgery.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, that is not like, oh, yeah, I think they said he was going to need advanced treatment, and I just assumed that was – no, he said surgery twice. He said he avoided surgery, didn't go well, got surgery. So that's very interesting. And I think if I had to guess, it is pretty much exactly what you laid out, where it is Sabonis told us he couldn't play, and we need a good excuse to tell people. And like you said, I think it just makes it a little bit more palatable to say, oh, he literally couldn't play for us, instead of, yeah, he just kind of cares about his actual his club, and making sure he's good for that, and he doesn't want to risk further injury.
As Frankie reports at SactownSports.com, Monty McNair had said to the media last month that he was unsure of Sabonis's plans to have the thumb repaired surgically or through rest and rehab.
I don't understand that. I don't understand how Monty didn't know that. I think I don't know why Monty said that.
We probably didn't know that because it's up to Sabonis. And maybe some of the teams like, well, we want him to do this, but we don't know what he's going to do because it's, it's up to him. It's his thumb.
Right. It is a pain tolerance thing at some point. It really, he was able to play through it. So I guess it is a matter of, if you feel like it's getting better a little bit, I guess you don't necessarily need the surgery unless it's actively hurting you. So if anything, I think that this is a good sign that, he is feeling better, and he does feel like this is the best possible route. And again, if your guy isn't having surgery, that's always positive news. So I'm just going to take this as good news and walk away from it.
Yeah. A quick update on the Beamies. The Fox's game winner versus Orlando has a pretty significant lead at this point.
Yeah.
And JR on the YouTube chat says, Red Velvet should not win a second award. It's fixed if he does. It's amazing the things about the Beamies that people are complaining about.
I know. It's these days, man. It's just like, we're just trying to put together a good show here, and people
Beamies,
always have to find something
Yeah.
to complain about,
It's not
man.
the
Come on.
ESPYs, it's the Beamies.
Yeah. Come on, guys. This is all for the trophy.
It means something.
It means something. Okay. We're gonna take the Kevin Huerter thing under consideration. Okay. Maybe there'll be like a La La Land situation. Maybe I read the card wrong. Who knows? But come on, it's a
No,
the votes speak for themselves.
Yeah, don't do this, Chris. If you have a problem with who won, blame yourselves. It was a fan voted
Thank you, sir.
award.
Yeah.
Chris said it.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it's the people's fault. Don't be mad at us. Be mad at the people. You know what? Actually, you are right, because it was tied at one point, and people had their opportunity to, if you wanted to,
we were very
vote for off-time.
transparent about the voting process from day one.
And it was, you had time even after learning Kevin Huerter self-proclaimed himself Red Velvet. It actually made his votes shoot up. So I guess it is. The people have spoken.
Yeah,
that's all I got to say.
Pike 916 is I've got money writing on these awards. Yeah,
okay. Many do.
Yeah,
many do.
We are not affiliated with that in any way, shape, or form.
No, we are not. We do not endorse it.
Yeah,
but
right.
To each his own.
Yeah,
whatever you do
that at your own hazard.
Exactly. Whatever you do. No one's ever said, LeBron James has won 4 ESPYs, but see, we already got people talking. Kevin Huerter can't win 2 Beamies.
Everybody's talking about the Beamies.
Everybody.
That's all anybody's
I mean,
talking
it's like, it's insane. Like, we can't leave the studio without a crowd of people outside wanting to see the trophy.
What are the odds that next year at the Beamies, and we still got a lot of pizza left in the box this year, that Sasha Vezenkov will be up for a Beamie or 2?
Probably pretty high. I think he could earn himself a good nickname. Shasta Vezenkov is pretty solid because
it was a typo. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure. I'm still trying to figure out the tie to basketball, how we can do Shasta. I don't know, whatever. He's probably going to have a highlight or 2 from this year. I think. I would be surprised if Sasha isn't involved next year.
We're having some fun, or at least trying to. But I'm serious when I ask you, do you think him taking over Harrison Barnes' spot is something that the Kings right now would like to see? Is that part of the plan of this? As it evolves, do you think they're at a point where they think, maybe by February, maybe Sasha's the guy, or is he coming off the bench this year?
I don't know if I'd say it's part of the plan, but I think it would be a welcome. I don't even know if I would call it a surprise. It would be a welcoming occurrence. How about that? I think it's not. I don't think the Kings are bringing over Sasha with the intention of him this season taking over. I think ideally maybe next season, maybe the season after that, he shows enough improvement to where it makes sense. It could happen this year. It definitely can.
So we'd be talking, in theory, Sasha at the 4 and Keegan at the 3. Yeah. With Barnes, a guy who can come in and play either position.
Exactly. It makes sense for the flexibility of it. I think, if it all comes down to how well Sasha plays, really. I don't think it, and a lot lost in all of this. Nobody talks about Harrison Barnes and his possible progression of next year. He's 31 years old, or will be 31, entering or in the middle of his prime of his career.
Snubbed at the Beamies this year,
at the Beamies this
which
year.
is going to be motivating because Black Falcon was not a nickname nominee,
and it's very, very deserving of it. And he's going to be motivated, and he's on a new deal now. He's comfortable. He knows where he's going to be. I think there's a chance that we're all sleeping on the possible progression of Harrison Barnes as well. Another year in this system, knowing his comfort level, and also now he has real competition breathing down his back. He has not had that his entire time here in Sacramento. Harrison Barnes has been very comfortable. There's been no talk of Harrison should be benched for player X. He's had that starting spot locked up. Now he's got Sasha breathing down his neck, hungry to prove himself, and Keegan as well. Like, he's got 2 reliable forwards who could potentially take his spot. I could see that being a really big motivating factor for Harrison, who we talk about him sometimes like he's 35, 36 years old. He is a very relatively young guy still.
Was he 31?
30. He should be 31 going into next season, if I'm not mistaken. But he's still got room to grow. Like he can definitely, whether it doesn't have to be necessarily on this. He's actually 31 right now.
Yeah.
Just turned 31. So he can, it doesn't even have to show up on the stat sheet. He can just be a more consistent, more reliable, better defender, better rebounder. There's tiny areas that he can improve on that I'm still not sleeping on. But to answer your question, I think Sasha can start by the end of the year. I don't think they're planning for that to be what happens.
I think if that happens, unless Barnes completely falls off the map, if it evolves that way where Sasha's playing better, I think they're a better team. By the way, that's the first time all day I've gotten anybody's age right.
Oh, that is
struggled.
You went over this
birthday. Yeah.
Celebrity birthday.
Coming up, Barry Bonds pleads his Cooperstown case and wonders, why me? Why me? We'll tell you why next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Get all the latest 49ers news heading into the 2023 season on Sactown Sports.
I think Brock was smart, and we kind of facilitated that he met with a bunch of different surgeons. The hope is he's ready for the regular season. We'll take it as it comes, as we're doing. He's working incredibly hard, and the early returns are really good.
Sactown Sports, Sacramento's official home for 49ers football.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that poor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe. Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day.
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Franklin Rosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel. When the world's best players get fitted for new golf clubs, they want to see their ball flight outdoors. And why should you settle for any less? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the area's unquestioned leader in delivering a new age of golf club fitting to Northern California. With 14 trained, skilled professionals to show you how to hit the ball farther and straighter, satisfied customers have increased their yardage, improved their games, and gained confidence. Call 916-808-2531 to get started. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
Updating you on the Beamies category we got going right now. Best Kings play of the season. Fox game winner versus Orlando, leading at 34%. Then we got the Fox game winner versus Chicago, 28%. Kevin Huerter game winner versus Utah, 28%. And the Fox dunk and one over Olynyk, 10%. Some people are not happy about how well Huerter's doing. I don't know why. I think it was Pike.
Maybe it's because
916.
JR.
Yeah, Pike 916 says, if Huerter wins, I will storm the stage like Kanye.
Oh, well, I guess I'd rather have you storm the stage like Kanye than storm the stage like Will Smith. So I guess I'll take that. I can take you being upset and saying, I'm gonna let you finish, but Davion Mitchell had one of the greatest nicknames of all time. Drop mic. And then he gives that little weird shrug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, I think the good news is people do care about the Beamies. Maybe
Absolutely.
a lot more than we thought they would. Maybe in ways that aren't entirely healthy, but that's okay.
That's right. I mean, it's the biggest day of the year. I don't blame anyone for celebrating the Beamies like this. It only comes by maybe once a year, and you gotta. It's the day to let the takes fly.
Yeah, now it's 33 to 30 to 27%. It's anybody's Beamie.
It is. I mean,
I got Huerter sitting there, man. I woke up today. I was like, whatever. So
Yeah.
I could
win
end the day
two
with two
awards.
Beamies.
2 awards. I mean,
It could be a 2 Beamie Bay
today. 2
Sorry.
Beamie Bay. Could be a 2 Beamie Bay. Who come on. Kevin just woke up thinking it was going to be a regular Wednesday, and he's going to win 2 awards. And
He
He might. He is nominated for 2 awards. It's a big day for everybody. And, I'm just glad that the Sacramento Kings this year gave us some good nominees. That's really the important thing.
And he's going to be wondering on Twitter when everyone starts calling him 2 Beam Kev. And he's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why are they calling him this?
knows.
Yeah.
He
double
knows.
beamer.
He's on his way to pick up the first one now. And he's thinking, maybe I should wait.
He should. He should. I mean, you should just wait for the end.
It does make sense that he's doing so well in the Beamies because the players have said that he's the biggest fan of the Beam.
That is true. They've all said that he is the guy who loves it. I mean, he was the first one he actually coined the term Beam Team on his Instagram page, or I think he commented on somebody's Instagram post saying Beam Team. So
yeah,
it's only right that Kevin at least gets 1 Beamie Award, but he had a good enough season to warrant 2. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
And
see.
just to update you, the reason there's a little bit of a backlash, some people don't think he should have won the Beamie for best nickname because apparently it's documented that he gave himself that nickname.
Yeah.
Some people think that's verboten, which is German for verboten.
I was like, we just know the rules. Like everybody knows nicknames you can't give yourself a nickname. And so, there is some controversy behind it, but you could also argue it's stuck. And so it's not Kevin's fault that he came up with a great nickname for himself, especially if the people agree. Again, like Chris said, it's the people's award. People have decided, and you can't argue with what the people say.
What do you make of this? We'll get back to the Beamies ASAP, but Barry Bonds, he's got a documentary coming out apparently, and I think the documentary is trying to show how maybe he's been wronged. But Barry Bonds did an interview. He's on somebody's podcast, I believe. He says he belongs in Cooperstown, and he asks, why is the Hall of Fame punishing me? And I guess you've heard the audio. I've seen the story, and the audio is hard to get through.
The audio is just it's a mess. Like they ask him the question is presented very softly, like, feel free. You don't have to talk about this if you don't want to. I know it's a sensitive subject, but I just think, or the person who's interviewing him says, I just think you can't have a Hall of Fame without having you in it. Lists all the accolades and all the reasons why we all know Barry Bonds, numbers wise, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Barry then just all over the place saying, well, actually, people don't understand. I was exonerated of all charges. Like I was not guilty of anything in the court of law. Explains what the perjury case was about, says he was found not guilty on all those.
Yeah, and this was on the Believe Hollywood Swingin' with Stephen Bishop and Jerry Hairston Jr.
This is their first episode.
Yeah,
also.
I went to the court. I was in federal court. I won my case 100%. Where is the vindication of me and my own sport? That's what bothers me, end quote. It's like, well, hold on. Good for you, but it's not like that means you didn't do steroids. I mean, what kind of vindication do you think you earned?
Well, and also, like, what does he want? Does he want Major League Baseball to make a massive apology? Hello, like, yes, Barry Bonds is in fact not, or he's innocent. He deserves, like, I don't know what he expects the big sweeping gesture to be that MLB to make for him. I don't know. Barry's what I got. I've never heard Barry talk at length this much as I did trying to siphon through all this audio. And he's a weird guy, very, very weird guy. And his answer to this sounds a lot like somebody who's trying to justify what he did instead of actually saying facts or seeming like he has a rational thought process around it. Really,
given that there are, I'm sure, many guys in the Hall of Fame who did steroids and just weren't caught. Given that, to me, it's like Barry Bonds belongs in the Hall of Fame. Come on. But I do think one of the things that works against him, there are a lot of guys that we know did steroids. I think the fact that he took down one of the most hollowed records in baseball and used PEDs to do that, I think it's like, well, you went too far.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it, and I understand why purists are very upset. I also understand why players are upset. I mean, if you played in that era and you're like, I didn't take it, and the best guy in the sport was taking it.
In that era, there's like 7 guys that could say that, but okay.
Right, no, exactly, yeah. There's not many guys who can say, I didn't, but he did. I get it, but, it's just, it does sort of delegitimize your Hall of Fame if you don't have the guy who, I mean, even with, and you can play that game without steroids. Yeah, it's just, you just have to put him in.
You're pretending if you don't acknowledge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think you just have to have him in. I don't know if you have to have an asterisk in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if you need to put, this guy was, allegedly found to have steroids in his system at one point, whatever. I just think you put them in and you let the people learn their own knowledge, but it's not right to have a Hall of Fame without this guy in it.
Barry Bonds is not a likable guy.
Not at all.
I don't know if you look at his history and he didn't have a great childhood. And I feel sorry for him. And then when to hear him complaining about this, I mean, he's a guy who's had some issues.
I've become a huge fan of Barry Bonds' post-baseball career.
Yeah.
Whereas a few years ago, apparently he's gotten into show dogs.
Oh, really?
And he had a miniature schnauzer, and he was being interviewed on during one of these competitions. And it was like the most excited I've heard Barry.
Wow.
He was so proud of his dog. He was so happy to be there. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I love this guy.
That's amazing.
That's incredible. It's like Jokic with his horses.
I want to say his miniature schnauzer's name was Apollo, and it's just like, perfect.
That's
perfect name.
Incredible. That's incredible.
He's got to get to a point where he's like, well, I did what I did. If I'm not in the Hall, okay, fine.
So I've
got my schnauzers.
Yeah.
I can still be happy.
That was the one thing I took from the audio hearing him was just like, this guy is, and I understand not being over it, but he just is not, he's not at a place where he can rationally list out his argument. It is still very emotional to him.
Yeah. We have a shocking update from the Beamies for you coming up. Also, the Kings have been declared free agent winners. Tell you by whom next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Thinking that's going to get down for a hit. Around third, largest scorer is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
When the world's best players get fitted for new golf clubs, they want to see their ball flight outdoors. And why should you settle for any less? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the area's unquestioned leader in delivering a new age of golf club fitting to Northern California. With 14 trained, skilled professionals to show you how to hit the ball farther and straighter, satisfied customers have increased their yardage, improved their games, and gained confidence. Call 916-808-2531 to get started. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Are you ready for an incredible pre-owned blowout at Elk Grove Kia? Elk Grove Kia has got you covered with over 300 used cars, SUVs, vans, and trucks available. Every single one of our vehicles has gone through an extensive 150-point inspection, so you can buy with complete confidence. We stand by our cars and offer a bring-it-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, simply return it. Worried about your credit? Don't be. At Elk Grove Kia, we have 100 years of combined experience in helping our customers get the best financing options available. Charge-offs, repossessions, foreclosures, bankruptcies, no problem. Our team specializes in finding solutions for every credit situation. But before you even step foot in our dealership, let us show you what we can do for you. Give us a call or visit our website, and our dedicated team will work with you to find the perfect vehicle and the best financing options. Elk Grove Kia is your destination for incredible pre-owned deals. Visit us today at Elk Grove Kia or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com.
Turn your highway into a smileway. Elk Grove Kia.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlato with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NBA's Board of Governors approved 2 rule changes that will go into effect this season. Coaches will now get an extra challenge if their first challenge is correct. The other rule will be an attempt to curb flopping in games. There will now be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul called on the offending player's team. The opposing team will get a free throw. Possession will not change and can't be directly reviewed by a coach, but can be added to a call during a review of a different play. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the NFL and NFL Films have selected the New York Jets as this year's team for HBO's Hard Knocks. This is not the first time the Jets have been the Hard Knocks team. They first appeared on the show in 2010. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Wow, the NBA on a roll, huh? In-season tournament, new anti-flopping rules. Sarcastic eye roll emoji.
Yeah, I mean,
we all know there's something that could be done about flopping. I don't think this is it, because it puts even more pressure on the officials to be able to instantly go, that's a blatant flop. I mean, how are they supposed to know that?
There's no way. You can't tell intent.
Sometimes maybe.
I mean,
but
sure.
then to impact the game free throws.
I think the free throw thing is a little bit much. It gives it a little bit too much weight. To De'Aaron Fox's point, it does give the referees a little bit more power, which I don't necessarily think is a good thing. Also, like you said, it's really hard to tell intent. Like, sometimes these guys are really good actors. Sometimes they're really terrible actors, and it's very obvious they're flopping. And for those reasons, it'll be good to have this rule. But, sometimes it's really tough to tell intent. There was one in the California Classic where Keon Ellis got called for a flop, and there was contact. There was clearly contact there. He might have maybe
embellished it.
Yeah, embellished a little, but there was still enough contact there to have some form of reaction. Was the reaction he should have fallen? Maybe not. But if the intent is still he's making contact, it's illegal contact, I need to show you the illegal contact, or else this guy's just going to turn and dunk on me. I don't know what Keon Ellis is supposed to do. Like, is he supposed to just play through it? Like, sure, you could argue, you could be a hard nose and say, yeah, just play till the whistle, play through it. But, the reality is there's a bit of gamesmanship in it as well. And, if you feel contact, you're supposed to fall. It's what you're taught to do.
That same game, there was somebody on the other team. I forget who they were playing. Was it the Hawks maybe?
That was still in the California Classic. I believe that was the Heat game.
Okay. Somebody on the Heat took a shot and then fell down, and they called a flop on them. And this new rule, in my opinion, should have just been focused on that. When you take a 3-point shot, if you fall down when there's no one near you, that's going to be a flop.
I love that. To me, that's the right way of calling that.
Way too much.
And it's hard. Like, that is one thing that's really hard to tell, especially if they're going to fall every single time, like a guy like James Harden does. It's just unnecessary. You truly are trying to bait a foul call at that point. You can tell when someone has stepped into someone's foot space too much, or when someone has hit their hand. There's no need to accentuate it by falling because someone hit my wrist, and so that made me fall to the ground.
Wrist. Yeah,
it's ridiculous, and that part should be easy to referee and to figure out. But the other side of things, the block charge, that's already tough enough to try and decipher. If you're going to throw block charge or flop into that equation, there's just no. I can't see how they're going to get it right most of the time.
Verlad, you ever seen that movie? I think it's Undercover Brother.
Yes, I can tell you it's
Of course. My wrist.
I've seen that movie.
Oh, you have? Okay.
I've seen that movie. I've seen it. It's actually like one of the movies I watched when I was a kid. Probably was too young to watch it, but great movie.
Real quick, Beamie update. Best Sacramento Kings play of the season. The nominees are the Fox game winner versus Orlando, the Fox game winner versus Chicago, when he said, I'm really nice. Kevin Huerter game winner versus Utah, the Fox dunk and one over Olynyk. Fox game winner versus Chicago is leading right now at 32%. The Orlando game winner and the Kevin Huerter game winner trailing 27%. So once again, it's still anybody's Beamie. And Huerter still has a shot at a 2 Beamie day.
Yes, now is the important time to vote, people. If you have not yet gotten your vote in, now is the time to do it. We will be revealing it. The winner at the top of the next segment. So you only have about 5 or so minutes to get your votes in for the Sacramento Kings best player of the season.
And at that point, as you well know, because you're a presenter, we'll introduce our fourth and final category of the day.
Dare I say it's the best one? Dare I say it's the best one? It's definitely my favorite one. And I cannot wait to see which one wins this because this is the award that's true and close to my heart.
Meanwhile, not the Athletic. The Ringer. The Ringer has named your Sacramento Kings free agency winners.
Woo! They did
The
it.
Athletic
They
named
did it.
them, well, not really losers, but kind of.
Kind of losers, but not winners.
Yeah. But winners. Sacramento Kings says, I think this is it Michael Pina?
Yes, Michael Pina.
Yes. He says the dust is settled. He says the Kings cleared cap space to afford any free agent they had in mind. But otherwise, they had a restrained, pleasantly flat offseason. They deserve a golf clap. Instead of bringing in a shiny new toy and breaking up a starting lineup that logged 122 more minutes than any other five-man unit last year, Sacramento acted like an ascending 48-win team that's been chasing stability for over a decade.
Mm-hmm. How about that? Yeah, I mean, that's a great way of looking at it, is they achieve stability after years and years of just trying to find any sort of formula that could work. It might have not been the most sexy thing for them to do, but they just doubled down on the success they had last year. And they also, let's not forget that they're building on top of it as well. Like they added in Chris Duarte. They added in Sasha Vezenkov. They now go a legitimate 10 players deep. Not many teams can say that and have the level of continuity that the Kings have. So I think that there's something to be said about the job that Monty McNair did this offseason, and just understanding that, I think a lot of people, you saw Minnesota last year, were like, okay, we're good now. How do we take a massive leap? Let's get rid of all of our assets for Rudy Gobert. There wasn't any of that. There wasn't even like a minor leap, like you could have said with taking the Kyle Kuzma jump. That would have been a risk, but Monty McNair, very calculated, very much knows that this thing is going to take time to build, and it's just about slowly building those blocks. And I think the Kings did a great job this offseason of building even closer towards reaching their ultimate goal.
Here's the good news. Here's the problem.
Oh, boy.
Michael Pina points out that you got, as you just said, Duarte, Vezenkov, both are range shooters. They will fit well in Mike Brown's system, which utilize spacing, movement, speed. But he says, and totally with him, no personnel decisions address Sacramento's poor defense.
Yes.
But for now, that's okay. Is it? I think we're going to end up regretting that. Although, on the other hand, I know it's not that easy to do. Let's go get some better defenders.
Sure.
But it really does concern me.
Yeah, they're going to have to address it at some point. And maybe that's what Michael is getting at there, is
because Vezenkov may be a worse defender than you already have.
Yeah, I think he might make the defense overall worse.
That's what concerns
me. The offense, I think, got better. So I think they're still trying to find that balance of, okay, how great can we make this offense, and then just kind of patchwork some defense in there. They did not bring in any personnel. I guess you could say maybe Chris Duarte is a hypothetical 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
Hasn't shown to be that in the NBA, but in college was touted as a 3-and-D guy. That's really it. I mean, besides that, the Kings haven't gotten better defensively, and Mike Brown has said that they're banking on them essentially taking the intensity they had in the playoffs and bringing that to the regular season.
When you played a team that had an offense that you knew inside and out too.
It's a bold proposition.
Defense look better.
I don't buy that. I don't think that that's going to be the way that the Kings get better. I mean, having more defensive focus is absolutely a great place to start, but over 82 games, you kind of are who you are. And even if they start the season with maybe an increased level of defensive intensity, I think you're going to fall back to the guys that you have on your roster. And frankly, the guys that the Kings have on their roster are pretty much all offensively minded.
Yeah, I know that there just weren't a lot of moves available to them that necessarily would have been defensive upgrades. You would have to give up too much to bring in anybody who was a much better defender than you had. I get that.
Yeah.
All that said, what do you think of the way Kessler Edwards has played in Summer League? He had 9 points last night on 4-8 shooting, and he's a key perhaps to better defense next year. Maybe.
Right. He's definitely the key to any sort of improved defense. Like, he was the guy that the Kings went to last year when they needed someone to step it up defensively, really. For him, it's going to be, can he knock down his open looks, really? And how many times – this is now 3 seasons in a row that the Kings have had a guy like this, whether it be KZ Okpala or Mo Harkless, who, those guys were in the starting lineup, which more speaks to where the Kings were at that point in time. But Kessler Edwards will make a defensive impact if he can stay on the floor. he can only stay on the floor if he's able to knock down his shots. Because yes, the Kings do need defense, but as you mentioned, I think it was yesterday, one player is not going to improve your defense. You can have Scottie Pippen out there on defense and surround him with a bunch of people who are disinterested. He's not going to make a big enough difference. It requires multiple people, multiple efforts, and it's not just going to be on Kessler Edwards. So, Kessler Edwards can definitely be a good piece to a defensive team, but in order for him to stay on the floor, it's going to come down to him standing in the corner on offense and being able to still be a threat and not be left wide open.
We're going to head back to the Beamies. We've got the winner coming up. You can still vote, though, on the Sactown Sports YouTube page. Highlight of the year winner will be named in a moment. Also, we'll get into our fourth and final category, the best Mike Brown sound of the year. Looking forward to that. It's next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you covered.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that he's throwing really good passes. I mean, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. He just looks like he's having fun, because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Get all your 49ers coverage leading into the 2023 season at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins
on Sactown Sports.
Welcome back to the Beamies. What a day it's already been. We still got our biggest category to come. Is it time to announce the controversial winner of the play of the season?
Yes, it is. Chris, cue the music. Okay, here we go.
To present the winner for the award for Kings Play of the Season, the Beamie for Best Play of the Season, here once again, Chris Watkins.
Yes, Sacramento Kings Best Play of the Season. Again, the nominees: De'Aaron Fox, game winner against Orlando; De'Aaron Fox, game winner against Chicago; Kevin Huerter, the eventual game winner versus Utah; and the De'Aaron Fox and one dunk over Kelly Olynyk. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, 2 times.
No.
Kevin Huerter, game winner versus Utah.
Fox into the front court, into the paint, pulls up, trying to tie it around a 2-bouncer, no good. Kept alive by the Kings. Back to Fox, floater, way short, no good. Rebound, grabbed by Harrison Barnes. Swings to Huerter, 3 on the way. He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. 30 points, a season high for Huerter, and it's 9.2 seconds to go in the ball game.
A double Beamie day for Kevin Huerter. Who saw that coming? Not I.
This is Huerter's second Beamie of the day, also winning nickname of the year. De'Aaron Fox, nominated 2 times for this award, leaves today with no Beamies. Very surprising. Upset. De'Aaron Fox leaving today with no Beamies.
Yeah. I know.
Not something I anticipated.
A late run for Huerter, too, to grab this one.
Yeah, I mean, the Fox game winners, I thought were going to probably clearly be in the lead. I mean, for him to hit a half-court shot for the win, and then
the Orlando thing, I would have bet a lot of money that was going to win.
That's incredible. I mean, yeah.
I was thinking Chicago, the effing
really?
nice,
this is a situation, maybe they took votes away from each other.
And
so Kevin Huerter sneaks by and gets the victory. 33%, very, very close margins here. 33% for Kevin Huerter, 28% for the Chicago I'm effing nice shot, 26% for the Orlando half-court game winner, 14% for Fox's and one over Kelly Olynyk.
Charlie Bartholomew, I was going crazy at the Sierra Nevada Club at G1C when he made this shot.
Everybody.
Pike, you guys go vote Fox. Huerter shouldn't be winning this when Fox has all three of the other spots. I mean, that makes
That's a good point. You know, De'Aaron had a stacked ballot here. We were trying to get him to come on the show here. And, you know, again, people have spoken. You can't argue with the people. And the people say Kevin Huerter, game winner over Utah. What a pop. What a pop that was.
Very surprising.
Very surprising. Yeah. That's
deserving, but
yeah. Kevin Huerter, two-time Beamie guy. So I think he has to come pick up this award now. I think we got to get in touch with these people and get him this award because
ignorant
not
question. Here, Chris Watkins. Is there any chance that Kevin Huerter wins a third Beamie?
No, there's quite literally no chance that he can win this next category.
And that brings us to our fourth and final Beamie category of the day. Once again, here's Chris Watkins.
Yes. This is a personal favorite of mine. Very excited to be presenting this award, or at least the nominees right now, for the Mike Brown Sound of the Year.
Whoa.
Lots, almost too many options to choose from. I think we dwindled it down to the four best. Starting with the thing that started it all. Mike Brown. Let me hear that roar one time. Incredible. Greg Popovich would never. A head coach screaming like that day one? Come on.
Give us a little background on that, if you would.
So it was Mike Brown's press huddle. You know, everybody, all the reporters are surrounding Mike Brown for media day. First time ever getting to talk with him. And they have as they do on media day, there's many different stations. One of the stations is the Kings social media team asking players to give them their best roar. And I believe they posted a video of everybody roaring, and it's who's your favorite roar, who's got the best roar. So in the practice facility, this is all happening under one roof. You hear one of the players go give their roar. And Mike Brown hears it in the middle of him talking, stops doesn't even really stop, just flows within his press conference. Chris, give it to us one more time. Just screams. He hears it and he just delivers one right back. And he's like, yeah, you want to give me that energy? I can send it right back. And that's when Mike Brown truly set the tone for what would be an incredible season of audio.
Okay, I haven't even heard the other three. Okay. That one's got to win.
I'm telling you, this is a stacked category. Coming in at number 2, our second piece of audio here, came shortly after. It was on the Kings' highly successful YouTube series, The Run, where we got an inside look into everything that happened this year for the Sacramento Kings, all the way from training camp, all the way through. I think they just released the last episode that was in the playoffs. If you haven't watched it, do yourself a favor. It's fantastic content. Episode 1. Again, Mike Brown setting the tone.
Episode 1?
Episode 1. This is in training camp. Mike Brown trying to set the tone for his team, letting him know what he expects for them this season. And they weren't giving enough on the defensive end of the floor. They weren't hustling back on offense. And Mike Brown, he let them know what he wants them to do. And it's this.
Turn the ghetto. Turn the ghetto.
Mike Brown hustles full speed. Like you can hear his cheeks slapping because he is running so hard. Turn the Jets on. Incredible. Incredible.
He played at
incredible
USD. I think he played University of San Diego.
Yes. Yeah. And Doug Christie has talked about how they played each other a couple times back in the day. So yeah, Mike Brown is a hooper, but Yeah, it was something. Not again, Greg Popovich would never. It's just incredible to see a head coach acting this way. It's incredible. I'm all for it. I think the memes were incredible. It just shows what kind of locker room, what kind of culture Mike Brown was building for this year.
You're right. This is a stacked category.
It's absolutely stacked. Sound number 3. This isn't even really about the audio. That said, we're going to play the audio here. It's more about the context behind it. So here is Mike Brown in a pregame press conference one day explaining how he feels about Malik Monk.
Hey, Malik Monk should get some mention for 6th man of the year. I'm just putting that out there. Go ahead. Again, Malik Monk should get some mention for 6th man of the year. I'm putting that out there. Some of you, especially some of you national guys that are sitting here. Malik Monk should be getting mentioned for 6th man of the year this year.
So that shuffling that you heard in between the second and the third Malik Monk deserves recognition is Mike Brown quite literally scooting his chair back, putting his foot, not barefoot, he has a sock on, putting his foot on the press conference table and saying Malik Monk deserves recognition for 6th man of the year. Incredible. Again, it's not really about the audio. It's more of a visual, but incredible stuff.
Oh, that's pretty good audio, too.
Absolutely incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Mike Brown, one of a kind. The last piece of audio we're doing is I'm trying to remember which one it is. Chris, which
this
one?
might be the favorite.
It was a late entrance we heard it right before we started the show by Jay Mars.
I think somebody has already talked about it on the YouTube chat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This was a late submission by Jay Mars, but it definitely deserves to be in the category. Mike Brown, we've established, lighthearted guy, really, really fun guy, but he's also a coach, and he's not afraid to let the media know what he's telling his guys, and this is what he had to say about a conversation that he had with Kings rookie Keegan Murray.
Yeah, I love his confidence too. I slapped him 5 after the game, like 5 or 6 times, and I said, dude, yo, Keegan Murray. And he said, he smiled, he goes, I got a little wiggle. I was like, keep doing the wiggle. Whatever wiggle is, keep doing it. Because it was fun.
It's just incredible. It is just incredible from the do-yo Keegan Murray to the perfectly parodied. It's like a South Park version of Keegan Murray's voice.
Every
just
time
absolutely
you played
incredible.
one, I thought, well, that one's got to win.
Oh my gosh!
But they can't all win at the Beamies.
This is just the loaded category. This is Best Picture. This is whatever you want. Sportsman of the Year for the ESPYs. This is what you play for at the end of the day. Is just great, incredible quality audio from Mike Brown. Good luck to all of our listeners trying to pick one of these. This is on you.
So far, it's a landslide. Very early voting. It's an absolute landslide. Early on.
Wow, I would not have guessed that. But okay, if you have any strong feelings towards any of those audios being your favorite, definitely going to want to get in there because it's imitating Keegan. The wiggle is off to a strong lead, but as we know, turn on the Jets was a very, very popular phrase thrown around this year. Everyone says it. My mom says it sometimes, and I'm like, what is going on? My girlfriend will say it. I'm
really?
Like, yes. I'm like, what is going? This is pop. This is truly pop culture, and that's the moment when you know what you've said is truly stuck because everybody is saying it all the time. So I would be surprised if Turn the Jets On loses, but all of these are incredibly quality, especially from a head coach. Steve Kerr can never, Greg Popovich can never. Your coach, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Brown.
We will come back with another listen to all I want to hear anyway, all the nominees at the Beamies one more time. We've got that coming up. Also, we got conflicting reports today on Domantas Sabonis and his thumb. Where does the truth lie? We'll get to that next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. For Wednesday, plenty of sunshine expected with light southwest winds. Afternoon temperatures quite toasty, warming into the upper 90s. Expect overnight lows in the lower 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
It's been said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to a nice, cool summer, it's so true. Right now, get a complete air conditioner tune-up for just $79. Bonnie. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings, the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to enjoy all the ball games from all around the country with 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Bone in, bone out. For more convenience, order online. Go to firewings.com, find a location near you, grab that order online and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings, hey, just wing it.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Roulade with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NBA's Board of Governors approved 2 rule changes that will go into effect this season. Coaches will now get an extra challenge if their first challenge is correct. The other rule will be an attempt to curb flopping in games. There will now be a non-unsportsmanlike technical foul called on the offending player's team. The opposing team will get a free throw. Possession will not change and can't be directly reviewed by a coach, but can be added to a call during a review of a different play. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the NFL and NFL Films have selected the New York Jets as this year's team for HBO's Hard Knocks. This is not the first time that the Jets have been named the Hard Knocks team. They first appeared on the show in 2010. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
And back to the Beamies. Oh, it's been a lot of fun. You know, there's some controversy today at the Beamies, and it always happens at the Beamies. Controversy over the fact that Kevin Herter, Red Velvet, that is, Red Velvet actually won for Nickname of the Year. And, you know, we have a very vocal audience, and some members of the audience like, that can't be, he shouldn't win because he gave himself the nickname. And I guess, I don't know if we can name our sources, but we're talking to somebody from Atlanta literally a few moments ago, said, he may have said he gave himself that nickname, but I don't think he gave himself that nickname.
Yeah, didn't give a name, but said that he heard from somebody who actually did claim to come up with said Red Velvet nickname. So if our sourcing is correct,
yes,
Kevin Herter did not name himself Red Velvet. He might have heard it.
Thinks he did.
Even if he thinks he did, he did not. So I think this legitimizes the Beamie, and Kevin Herter, congratulations, 2-time Beamie winner.
That's incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Leads the league in Beamies.
Yeah. And we don't have as much time for you to vote on this particular category. So again, just want to go over, can we go over the category, or excuse me, the nominees one more time, Christopher Law, because I love these nominees for Mike Brown Sound of the Year. Nominee number 1,
Yelling at Media Day.
Ah!
Nominee number 2,
Turn the jets on. Turn the jets on.
Nominee number 3,
Hey, Malik Monk should get some mention for 6th Man of the Year. I'm just putting that out there. Go ahead. Again, Malik Monk should get some mention for 6th Man of the Year. I'm putting that out there. Some of you, especially some of you national guys that are sitting here. Malik Monk should be getting mentioned for 6th Man of the Year this year.
and finally, nominee number 4.
Yeah, I love his confidence too. You know, I slapped him 5 after the game, like 5 or 6 times, and I said, "Dude, yo, Keegan Murray." And you know, he said, he smiled, he goes, "I got a little wiggle." I was like, keep doing the wiggle. Whatever wiggle is, keep doing it.
There's like 3 in that clip alone.
I know
that could be nominated.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So go to our YouTube page, YouTube chats, where you can cast your vote. Pardon me. And right now, Turn the Jets On is leading the Keegan Wiggle. It's very close though.
Incredible. I mean, they're both incredible pieces of audio. Turn the Jets On. I think it's going to be something that's going to be brought up Mike Brown's entire tenure here. I just don't think that's going to be something that's going to forget. So even if it doesn't win the Beamie, I think it's going to win a legacy award, if you will. But imitating Keegan it's so hilarious. Like you guys said, like there's like 2 or 3 clips, even just from that one sound. But just making fun of Keegan Murray is hilarious. The fact that everybody else kind of makes fun of Keegan being, you know, a little shy and awkward, but then to have the actual head coach do it during a press conference.
Do you remember a very young Mike Brown coaching the Cavs, and during a media conference, he was laughing about something, and it was the weirdest laugh? Do you ever hear about that, Verlad? It was, I think, when his first year coaching the Cavs, and you know, everyone laughs about Kawhi's weird laugh.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that, but it was a weird kind of almost like a stuttering laugh, and people were really making fun of it.
Really?
Early on in Mike Brown's career.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Mike Brown's development as a coach, I think, is something I hope the longer and longer he stays here, we get to hear more about it, because my eyes were opened. You know, I think a couple months ago, we played some sound of Mike Brown on the Hoop Collective podcast with Brian Windhorst. I learned a lot about Mike Brown's history in that podcast. I haven't heard a lot detailed about his Laker tenure and about his Cavs tenure, but the one thing that really stuck out to me was just how much, kind of like how we talk about Josh McDaniel a little, where he understood the X's and O's element of it. He was a young assistant for Greg Popovich in those early years with the Spurs, was very highly regarded. But then when he got to Cleveland, he didn't understand the human element of it, the interactions, making sure these guys know I'm not just yelling at you. I love you. This is all to like make you the person better. And I think that's something he even credits his time in Golden State with Steve Kerr, really learning how it's not really about that. It is about managing egos and managing relationships. And I think last year was just such a shining example of Mike Brown just gets it. Like there's people, it's like having the it factor where, you know, if you see an athlete, it's just, oh yeah, that guy is a pro. I can just tell there's something about his game. Well, I can't exactly pinpoint it, but he's got it. Mike Brown now understands it. He understands coaching is one thing. You can be a phenomenal coach. Dave Yeager, great coach, led the Kings to 39 wins when they were in the middle of this playoff drought. But none of the players felt like Dave cared about them. They felt like he was too much of a disciplinarian. And so it's finding great coaches are finding the balance between great coach and also I will run through a wall for you. And I think Mike Brown last year really struck a chord with this team. And I'm just excited to see if it continues on, or if at some point, like it does kind of with all coaches, if at some point his voice kind of gets stale.
You want to hear, this was Mike Brown's laugh early in his career as a Cavalier coach, and people were kind of making fun of this.
Mike, were you aware that Mo Williams could even dunk, and did that fire up the team?
No, No, I didn't. That surprised me.
That's what people make fun of him for.
Yeah.
I mean, it is pretty funny, but like maybe it's just because we quote unquote know Mike Brown now, but that sounds very much like Mike. Like he's just a very jovial, like he does have like just that air of lightness to him. He's just like
Well, back then, I think the difference was back then, Mike Brown was like, okay, he's been an assistant with Pop, but now he's like coaching LeBron.
Right.
Who is he done anything? Who is this guy? A little later on, he's like, okay, you know, the Cavs had some success, but that was because of LeBron.
Right.
And now he's coaching Kobe. But then you fast forward, he ends up with the Warriors. He's an assistant on one of the greatest teams ever. He had been a head coach stepping in at times. And now you look at him now and he's not like, oh, you're coaching LeBron. It's like, he coached LeBron.
Yeah.
He coached Kobe. He was a coach with the Warriors.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's like, man, he's got skins on
just
the wall.
by proxy.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like in the
pay
moment.
attention. I'm going to listen to this guy.
In the moment, it was like, are we sure this guy should be coaching LeBron James at this point in his career? Are we sure that Kobe's going to listen to him?
Right.
And then now it's like,
wow,
like you said, like, no, that's part of his, like, De'Aaron Fox is like, yes, like, tell me what you taught them or what you picked up from them. It's weird how it's just, time is like that, I guess. You the only way to earn respect is by going through things. And, even if at those moments and times, it didn't feel for Mike Brown like it was the most productive thing for him, I think in the long run, I mean, he's still a really young guy in terms of coaching standards. He can take all of that experience. And I think it's now you can add to the resume. He brought the Kings to the playoffs. Like he did all of those things in the past, but also bringing the Kings to the playoffs is probably right up there in terms of his greatest achievements as a head coach.
Just in an effort to clarify, we had a couple conflicting reports that emerged today on Domantas Sabonis. The first one came out of Lithuania, and the Lithuanian national team coach suggested that Sabonis could not play for them in the World Cup championship because he decided to have surgery on his hand to repair the avulsion fracture in his thumb. But then James Ham, just a couple hours, well, not even an hour, maybe an hour ago or so, reported that according to a league source, we're presuming this is the Kings because you said Sean Cunningham had it as well. Sabonis did not have surgery on the avulsion fracture, and he continued to follow a strict rehab protocol, was unable to play for Lithuania, not because he had surgery, but because he's following this protocol.
Yes.
So he hasn't had surgery, and the recovery continues.
Yeah, good to hear. Good to hear that he's going to be, continuing to work out and continuing to work on his game. Surgery would not have been good for him. And
his surgery also would have meant, it's not working.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. Which is what the Lithuanian coach said. Yeah. He said, not having surgery. It wasn't working. So now he is having surgery. Not true. So, it's good to hear that apparently, you would have to assume that means the hand is getting better. I would assume if it's been stagnant ever since he hurt it, I would guess that they would probably opt for surgery. So good to hear that it's probably getting better, but it's going to be a process. It's just going to be good to see how his game. I'm excited to see how his game is going to be different going into next year with an additional hand.
Hey, get your votes in. Last call for votes
really
here.
Quick.
The final Beamie of the day, best Mike Brown sound. And we still have a race here.
There's a chance.
Yeah, we will announce a winner, and Rami's going to join us for that. Hopefully he's got his tux rented. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes.
I hope he got I hope, he should have seen the purple carpet coming in. He should have assumed something was going on. So.
Yeah. We'll wrap up, sadly,
for
another year, we'll wrap up the Beamies.
I know.
Coming up next, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes. Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov. Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, when the A's took the shortstop Jacob Wilson from Grand Canyon in the first round of this year's draft, it meant the A's had drafted a shortstop from Thousand Oaks High in 2 of the last 3 first rounds, going back to 21 when the A's took Max Muncy. And now Wilson, coached by his dad, the former big leaguer Jack Wilson, in high school, taken by the A's 6th overall. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Get your superhero squad together and join forces as we take on the Minnesota Twins on Saturday, July 15th during Marvel Superhero Day. All fans can enjoy this special Marvel-themed day at the ballpark, along with fun photo opportunities, character appearances, and in-game features as part of the fun. Get there early to snag a Captain Marvel bobblehead presented by Extra Mile. Tickets start at just $10 and are available at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. Imagine if every time you bought something, you could get a second one for 30% off. Buy one car, get the second one for 30% off.
Buy one TV, get the second one at 30% off. Buy a new house and get the second one at 30% off.
At Bell Brothers, that's exactly what we're offering this spring on windows and doors. When you buy one brand new energy-efficient window for your home, you'll get the second one at 30% off.
A minimum purchase is required, but the discount applies to every second window you buy. For example, if you buy 5 windows, you'll get 5 windows at 30% off.
The same is true for doors. Buy one, get one for 30% off. And for doors, the minimum is just 2.
So call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th. With Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, get up to 40% off select bathroom faucets and vanities. Plus, buy Southwire Romex Simple 12-gauge indoor wire at our everyday low price of $109. Head to your local Lowe's or visit us at Lowe's.com for more deals you can't beat. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. About 7/6 through 7/12 while supplies last. Selection varies by location, U.S. only.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and 0 down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
Welcome back to the Beamies. Joining us now, Rami.
Coming to an awards show, gentlemen. I didn't dress up. I don't have my tux on. No bow tie, no nothing.
Yeah. Have you been enjoying the Beamies? Do you have any idea what the Beamies are?
I have some ideas. You guys kind of explained it to me during the break. Other than that, no, I have no clue what they are. Yeah.
One category to go. So get your votes in here if you want to vote on Best Mike Brown Sound. It's incredibly close. But let's wrap it up with for everybody and with Rami. The first Beamie.
Can I get a recap of the Beamies?
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course,
Now.
the ESPYs are today. Is like,
Right.
But the Beamies, baby.
That means something.
The Beamies.
Yes, I see there are trophies.
There are
here.
trophies. Yes.
There's 2 trophies.
Nice.
And there's 4 categories. And we haven't figured
What's
out
that one? What's the little man
It's
with the suitcase?
technically a Dundee, but
I like it. Okay. All right.
Participation trophy.
We had Win of the Year. The nominees for the Beamie for Win of the Year were the first win of the season over Miami and the first lighting of the beam, the double OT thriller versus the Clippers, 176-175, the playoff spot clincher versus the Blazers, and the game 1 playoff winner over the Warriors. Which one do you think would
Out of those 4, I'd probably go game 1 win against the Warriors. And Monty McNair was actually talking about that. They were interviewing him on the Summer League game.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that was like the coolest moment for him of the season. But one that's not on that list, I'm sorry to throw a wrench in the plans, guys, but
Okay.
I remember it because I was watching it with Verlad and Simone and JJ, was the game winner against the Bulls by De'Aaron Fox, the buzzer beater against the Bulls by De'Aaron Fox. Was that in there? Did I miss?
Not in there, but we
All right.
will get to it.
Oh,
but
okay.
the Beamie
Okay.
actually
Sorry.
went to the double OT thriller versus the Clippers.
Really?
176,
Yes.
175.
Yeah, I mean, double OT. Almost 200 points. Yeah, that's a damn good game. Yeah.
The
A lot of
Beamie
good
for
candidates.
nickname of the year. The candidates were Red Velvet, Swipe of the Fox, the Dominator, and Off Night. And this came right. We had to go overtime on
We
this
did
one,
have
right?
to go overtime. Yep.
Yeah.
My favorite of those is Red Velvet.
Red Velvet was
Controversial.
just barely the winner. And a lot of people were upset by that because people pointed out that Kevin Herter says he gave himself that nickname. And some people say you can't give yourself a nickname.
Oh, sure you can. Why not? Guys do it all the time.
Especially if it sticks.
Yeah.
Most of the time you give yourself a nickname and it sucks because it's something that you're trying to reflect onto others and it's not something that truly reflects yourself.
Rappers give themselves names.
Yeah.
Great point. Don't they?
Yeah.
Great point.
I mean, if you do it and it sticks, then you did it.
Yeah. Then it was a good one.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
why I continue to call Rami Romster. He came up with that nickname.
Loves it.
So
I love it. It's great.
And then the
Creative,
Herter, a little
you
bit
know?
of a Herter backlash continued into the third category, highlight of the year. And what were the categories for that? We had
We had
the game winner over Orlando, the
game winner
Fox
against
winner.
Chicago.
Fox winner.
We had the Kevin Herter game winner against Utah, where the crowd explodes and pandemonium ensues. And then we had
Fox
Fox
dunk over
dunk
Olynyk.
over Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Herter won that. So he had a 2 Beamie
Really?
day.
Yeah. Wow. Taking home 2 Beamies.
Yes.
That's big for that young man.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
And it's also unprecedented in the history of the Beamies.
Never been done before.
Never
Nope.
been done.
Never.
And that
Wow.
brings us to our final category. And here once again is Chris Watkins.
Yes,
This
it's
is
the
a big
award we've all been waiting for. It's the Mike Brown Best Sound of the Year. Again, one more time, just because the audio is also great.
Yes.
Mike Brown at Media Day with the scream. Nominee number 2, Mike Brown, turning on those Jets.
Turn the Jets on. Turn the Jets on.
Nominee number 3, Mike Brown putting his foot down on the table.
Hey, Malik Monk should get some mention for 6th man of the year. I'm just putting that out there. Go ahead. Again, Malik Monk should get some mention for 6th man of the year. I'm putting that out there. Some of you, especially some of you national guys that are sitting here. Malik Monk should be getting mentioned for 6th man of the year. This year.
Incredible. And our final piece of audio, nominee number 4, Coach Mike Brown imitating Keegan Murray.
I love his confidence too. You know, I slapped him 5 after the game, like 5 or 6 times, and I said, "Dude, yo, Keegan Murray." And you know, he said, he smiled, he goes, "I got a little wiggle." I was like, keep doing the wiggle. Whatever wiggle is, keep doing it, because it was fun.
And the Beamie goes to
much anticipated award. The Beamie for Best Mike Brown Sound goes to Mike Brown imitating Keegan Murray, the wiggle. Well deserved. Close vote.
Wow.
Do your little voice.
Imitating Keegan Murray gets 44% of this year's vote. Second place, Turn the Jets On with 40. The Yell at Media Day, 15. Mike Brown putting his foot on the table? Only 3%. This is Mike Brown's first time winning a Beamie.
That's great.
Mike was not here to accept the award, so.
I mean, Mike was winning that award no matter what.
He was.
It was going to be Mike Brown's award no matter what.
Right, right.
I guess Keegan could share this as well. Keegan played his part in that audio.
That's true. Yeah, so if Keegan
I'll take
wants
either
to
one.
come-
Keegan or Mike Brown, if either one of you two wants to
Yeah.
come pick up this award.
That scream at Media Day, that was like one of my first few
Yeah, it
weeks on the
was,
job.
yeah.
I was at Media Day and I was like, what just happened over there? Like I forget who we were interviewing. We were interviewing somebody at the time, and Mike Brown just screams from across the practice court. And I thought somebody was hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on? I hope everybody's okay over there. But
Yeah, because he was answering a call or something, right? Someone else did it.
Yeah, so
And
I mean, it just like someone was roaring on the other side of the arena, and he heard it, and then just delivered one back unprompted, and just screamed in everyone's faces.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Yeah.
Once I realized what happened, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Like I saw on Twitter, and I was like, oh, that's
the thing that
because there was
happened.
like a throng of I couldn't see Mike Brown. I just
Yeah.
heard screaming coming from the corner of the practice court.
Yeah. So you've done a lot of wonderful things in your career.
Well, thank you.
Being part of the Beamies, where does that at this
Oh,
point rank?
right at the top,
Yeah,
guys.
for sure.
Right there at the top. I mean, geez.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get a chance to be a part of such a great institution and tradition.
Yeah, we've been
as the
saying that,
Beamies.
like Kevin Herter was unable to come get the award. And it turns out he said, no, I could come get it. I just don't want it. So, and people said, no, I could go down there. I'm free. I just don't want
Which
it.
is a shame because, as we know, he's the biggest fan of the Beam of all the players.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
But isn't he the one that said you can't keep doing it? Like year
Oh,
after
that's
year?
right. I do remember
Yeah,
that.
he
Yeah.
said,
Say
you
that,
can't do
yeah.
it next year too.
Which is, I thought that's kind of dumb.
Yeah,
Very
it's-
dumb.
It's working. They're going to sell it. They're going to keep the Beam is not going anywhere.
No.
And it shouldn't.
Plenty of teams have things they've been doing to celebrate wins for decades.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But I'm wearing a Cubs hat today, as
Yeah.
Whitey's pointing to. They fly a W over Wrigley Field and have been doing it for literally over 100 years after they win a game. So yeah, you can keep lighting the damn beam. I
Yeah.
hope they keep lighting the beam.
Stronger and better than
being
I
that.
want more beams.
Baseball guy, did you enjoy the All-Star
I did
game?
enjoy the All-Star
It was a good game, huh?
It
It was
was.
fun.
It was a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? You got some good pitching, some good like highlight plays on defense from some of the guys out there, some home runs, close game, came down to the last batter. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Are
And
you
like
a
I
big
said
Poppy
yesterday,
guy?
As
a commentator?
Yeah, he's a funny, jovial dude. The PED thing still bothers me, but yeah,
Thank you.
I like him.
Thank
as,
you.
as
There's a
an-
spirited
as an
debate
analyst.
between these two.
Sure,
on Poppy.
I can separate the two. He's entertaining. You know what I mean?
What do you have coming up, and who's joining you today on
The High
Rami's
Flyer.
show? Oh,
Henry Turner
hey!
for the show this
HT.
afternoon. So lots of Kings talk. We'll get his thoughts on the Kings offseason, what's transpired so far, Summer League, the comments that Chris Mannix made about Keegan Murray having the potential to be a number one for the Kings. I'm sure Harry has some thoughts on that. And a guy you might know, Jason Ross, will join us from the Summer League at 3:15 this
And plus
afternoon.
the
with his
Beamie
Kings
fallout, reaction to the
observations.
Beamies.
Yes, I'll definitely ask him about all the Beamies fallout because, of course, I mean, social media is already a buzz with everything that has gone on in the Beamies today. So, of course, we'll be addressing that.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Rami and Henry Turner next right here, Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Cal Ripken in 2001 won the MVP there. Yeah, and then he hit the home run. I think it was off a Dodger Chan Ho Park, if I remember right.